You can mute if you want while it's playing.
I'm good.
All right, everyone. We're going to do this again. Together. I need your energy, everyone. Let's do this. This energy is from the Fandom Menace, Fandom Collective, YouTubers, Jeremy's, people with good hearts.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fandom Collective YouTube channel. This is our Hollywood, our holiday special today. And yeah, we've got, the holidays right around the corner. We're saving our Star Wars talk for a little bit later, so we're not going to do spoilers here. So let's keep it out of the chat too if we can, but that's all good. I know there's a lot of people live streaming tonight, so people will probably catch us on the replay, but that's all good. We got a nice little panel here. Mandy Summers is going to join us shortly, but with me is my co-host, Flipster, down here. Introduce yourself, buddy. Shut up. Just kidding. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Yeah, howdy. It's Flip here, and thanks for joining us on the FC. We got Ruthie and Alorha from OG Star Wars. Just going to have a nice chill night. Go ahead, Ruth.
Yeah. Hell yeah, well said. And with that, we got the fifth one over here. Boom.
Hi,
Perfect timing.
You guys.
Hi, Mandy.
Perfect timing.
So sorry, I'm late. Sorry. Are we
No,
live? We're live.
we just finished the intro, so that's all good. Anyway, you just popped in anyway. Introduce yourself to the channel.
Like what? Hey, you guys. Yeah, I'm Mandy. I am the creator of the comic book Hort the Wizard that is now in demand on Indiegogo. You guys go check it out.
Hell yeah, and she does these awesome dollar store streams on Tuesdays.
I do.
Gilmore, and they find some really weird stuff. And that poor go-go dancer Ray,
Go-go dancer Ray. And I swear, I think that Pete is going to get like mesothelioma or something because of all the fumes he's inhaling from doing
disease.
this. Yeah, it's very toxic over at his house with his Dollar Tree toys.
Some kind of illness for sure. But then also, and right next to her is Star Wars for Life, Ruthie, whom has just started her YouTube channel recently and has been always awesome and a good supporter on Twitter. How's it going tonight? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I want to say hi, Mandy.
Hi,
I've
Mandy.
had a long time. It's awesome to finally talk to you.
I
And,
know.
right? And I'm happy to be here. And
Well, no, so
cool.
say a little bit about your YouTube channel, because you said you started
Okay, so I do have a review YouTube channel. It's a little bit on hold right now until I get everything settled with the uploading, but it's just me reviewing the latest movies and my opinions on them and just how I feel about the entertainment business, and that's pretty much it. It's just it's a fun review channel. It's just something I'm doing for fun, and if you want to check it out, please do.
Heck yeah, do that. She also has a cooking channel that she's working on.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my cooking channel is coming very soon. It's gonna be all based on my family, like Mexican food. If you like Mexican food, when I start posting that, please subscribe. That's my baby. That's what I'm really working on. That'll be in a few months, and I can't wait. I'm really excited about that.
She's trying to get revenge on me for posting Subway cookies and pizza and stuff all the time. So.
I could
Oh no,
kill you.
I actually love those posts.
No, the other day I was at the mall and I was just sitting there, you know, like in the food court, going through, and there were those damn Subway cookies. So it's your fault that I went over to the Great American Cookie thing and bought like 3 of those double doozies, those giant ones with the ice in inside. That is your fault. This 5 pounds I gained on you. I'm totally blaming you for that.
That's all good as long as I get compensation from the businesses at some point, because I'm helping them everywhere.
Sponsorship.
But our last but not least is Alorha. Is that the proper pronunciation, Alorha?
Yes, it's Alorha. Hello, everybody. My name is Alorha. I am OG Star Wars. I am your Legends girl trying to make it in this discounted world. My channel is about the Legends, our original EU content that includes the 6 movies. I will also give credit where credit is due, and I am also doing reviews on Mandalorian. So please come, like, subscribe, and remember, Legends is here for you.
Hell yeah, that's what Legends are for. They're supposed to last the test of time, and I think that's what they'll do as well. And I think, if anything, after Rise of Skywalker, people shall be flocking toward the Legend stuff. So,
oh yeah, it's already
we need good content.
Yes,
that's what we need. We need Legends now, the real Star Wars.
Exactly. Links to all their channels are in the description below. Jade is in the chat. I'm going to make him a mod. I think there's a lot of people streaming tonight, so they're probably. All the other mods are over there, so
yeah.
Let's add you. So Jade, you're now mod, and their links to their channels are in the description. Flips is already in there, so don't worry about it. And it's all good. But
I can't see the chat, so that's a plus.
That's all good. I'll be able to highlight some messages here and there.
Abu Nas, hello.
Abu Nas.
Hi, Abu Nas.
The dude with the best on the planet says, "Sending love to this awesome panel. You guys rock, and you ladies are the queens."
Thank you.
Thank you.
He calls all women.
Always the player.
Yeah,
that's what I call him.
Oh yeah, we got our Night Ambassador fan scene in the chat. What's up, buddy? Once Ruth, if you ever take out early in about an hour or so, he might pop on in. But if not, it's all good. Jade Spider-Man. I keep on wanting to say Jade Skywalker. I don't know why.
Mara Jade Skywalker. Yes.
Exactly. We got Vlad Vexer in here. It says, "Mandy, you changed shirts. Nice."
Always. Never go.
Is he implying?
Back to back stream.
Is he implying?
Holiday spirit.
Why?
Fine. I needed that today from my rant. Yeah.
Mandy, where's your Santa hat?
Huh?
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, she got one?
Of course.
I had to do the do-rag. Nobody gave me the memo.
I know she has some because she goes to the dollar store. If she doesn't have a real one, she has a fake one. So there's that.
And you're a host, and you don't have a memo on Santa hat. Get with the program, okay?
I should have. He's a technically co-host, so I guess he gets a little bit of slack.
Okay,
it's okay, Flip. Don't feel bad. I don't have one either.
Yeah, you're an icon though, so that's okay.
There we go.
You're on your phone.
We have
good.
hats in spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
Your invisible hat looks lovely. We love it.
It does. It's beautiful.
I'm wearing my work uniform. It's not worthy of anything to post right now.
I think that some males in the audience disagree, but that's all good. We got no idea.
Okay.
As well. What's up, buddy? I saw him a little bit earlier today. We got Joe Lau. It says, "Merry Christmas, all." I want to say y'all because Mandy's here. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Yes, her accent, it very much brings up the energy in the room, I would say.
Beautiful. It is. Beautiful.
And Mandy, where are you out of? I'm out of Atlanta.
Oh,
Georgia?
really? Yeah,
I'm in
awesome. I am Athens area. So
that's weird.
very, very close.
I'm near UVA.
That's weird.
Crazy.
Your location is bizarre.
No, it is bizarre because like I'm near somebody for once. So
Yeah, I know. It's rare to run into somebody from the South that you're anywhere in the vicinity of. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Mandy
Cool.
has to kidnap Flip and then do a video. No.
Yes.
There you
Yes.
go.
There we go. Let's see.
I gotta
Curtis
warn you,
YZ.
I get weird.
Curtis YZ comments on
Funny.
your fake Christmas attire. Flip says Flip's got a Santa bandana.
Yeah.
It's red and white. It counts.
We'll get you one pass this once.
I can look like an elf.
Yeah, you have to
That
say ho.
works.
You have to say ho 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 every at the end of every sentence in order for it to count. I think
Oh, that's very interesting.
it might be a little tough, but if you do a couple drinks, it might be pretty easy. Who knows?
True.
But all right, so with that out of the way, let's get started on something. Like I said, we're gonna save Star Wars stuff for later, if we can, because some people are trying to avoid leaks and spoilers, even though they've been going around for quite a while. But since a lot of them seem to be true, let's avoid them in the chat. If you want to put fake spoilers that aren't real fake, something to juke, I don't care. But just don't do the legit spoiling.
Fake spoilers.
That's fine. But
Fake spoiling. Is that ever anything anymore? You can't tell anymore.
I don't know. Well, like if they're going to say that Rudolph comes in and helps Rey fight Sidious, yeah, that's fine. Like
With Disney, you never know.
that's what I was saying. What's so far fetched about it? In my opinion, Harry Potter, Santa Claus, and Jesus are wizards, and fight crime.
That sounds more interesting than the movie.
I was gonna say, right?
We could probably write our own interesting version of this, and it'd probably be way better, especially with the clips I've been getting in my DMs about the actual movie, like actual recordings from the screen. Yeah.
Big time. Oof. But all right, Star Wars for later. Christmas is around the corner, everybody, and so people have been, I assume, getting into the Christmas spirit, or maybe not. But regardless, there's always Christmas movies running around, and okay, I'll get the first question out of the way. What qualifies a Christmas movie, or what qualifies a movie to be a Christmas movie? Open panel. Anyone?
Okay, I'll start this. I did this like 2 weeks ago. I said Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and I got so much crap on Twitter. I don't consider that a Christmas movie. I consider it an action movie. If you want to throw Christmas in there, and everyone's like, "No, you're crazy. It's a Christmas movie. It's a guy movie." I'm like, "No, that is not a Christmas movie to me. I've seen it once when I was 10, but I've never seen it again. It was okay, but I don't consider it a Christmas movie." So
yeah,
I agree with
that. Out of the way.
I agree with that.
Not a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Does anybody disagree with that?
I slightly disagree with that. It's not.
Of course.
It's not a Christmas movie per se.
Toxic male.
I'm toxic. But yeah, it feels like Christmas when I watch it, because John McClane seems synonymous to Santa Claus in my mind. But I know it's not a Christmas movie. I am saying.
Thank you.
A little
So
bit.
I'm gonna go in, probably be the naughty one in the bunch here, but I love Bad Santa.
I
I've not seen it, so I don't know.
That's good.
I thought it was funny.
Yes, I just love it. It's a very, of course, adult movie and stuff, but it just helps you, no matter how your mentality is in during the holiday season. It's a great laugh. It's a raunchy movie. It's a great laugh. It still has the Christmas wrapped around it, where he helps out and stuff, but just such an awesome take, and like I said, a raunchy laugh. Yeah.
Okay.
I
have not seen it quite yet, so I don't know. But that's not uncommon around here, where I have not seen certain Christmas movies. So is that the one with like Kurt Russell or something? Or
it has what's his name?
Billy
Billy Bob.
Billy
There we
Bob.
go.
Billy Bob
yeah.
Thornton. Well, anything with Billy Bob, a woman will like. So,
How was that,
I'm
guys?
sorry.
No, but you will like it as a guy too as well. Yeah. You need to go watch it and then report back to me ASAP.
okay.
I've never seen that either.
I'm gonna get
You
Die
too,
Hard out
Ricky.
of the way first because I've not seen Die Hard either, actually. So I actually don't know. But that's
What?
first. That's first on the Christmas list. On the Christmas movies, that's the first one I'll watch. Bad Santa will be second. Okay, and Christmas Vacation because I haven't watched that one either.
What?
Yep.
How have you not? Okay, I get Die Hard.
I thought I knew
I
you.
even get Bad Santa because it is fairly new. It's a newer.
Mhm.
You haven't seen Christmas Vacation? That came out when we were kids.
I've
How have you
seen-
not seen that?
I'm the baby on the panel. Okay, I'm like 25.
Good Lord.
I've seen it. I've seen glimpses of it on TV, but I've not seen it all the way. So
It's a
Mhm.
classic.
He hasn't even. He barely watched Jaws like a few months ago.
yeah,
He
see,
barely watched Jaws.
yeah. So Jaws. No, but you see, I went from having never seen Jaws, the whole Karate Kid movies, Alien 1 and 2, Rambo. I've seen them.
Are
now.
you kidding me?
I've seen them now.
I've
So-
never seen Rambo either.
So they're now.
I see why you're the rookie critic. Good
That's what I was gonna
Lord. Watch some movies.
Yes.
Okay. So I have an assignment for you, and I am sure most of us will attest to this. You need to go watch all of those and report back. We need to report back on the live stream, and you need to run with us through critics on those.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say so. So the ones I listed, I have seen now. But yeah, Christmas Vacation. That's one of these. I can knock that out this weekend probably.
Joe says, "Oh boy, council rookie."
Cancel Rookie, exactly. If people that have not come by here before or knows people that don't know that I haven't seen a lot of films, that you get used to that, man. I'm knocking them out, but I'm trying.
You know, I seem to remember you putting a list up on Twitter.
Yes, I did. No, I still have that.
Movies you haven't seen, and I was like going through it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" That's the amount.
I didn't want it to be about me on this stuff, but I will get that list up. Actually, because, that's a very important list.
Show us right here. See, this turning in from a holiday like critique on movies and stuff to like rookie not watching shit.
But then it goes.
Yeah.
Then it goes to the fact that we're trying to list movies, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Okay, here we go.
So let's see. Okay, see that? Okay, I'll scroll.
He wrote it out.
Okay, so what does the green mean compared to the black?
So the colors of the names don't mean anything. They're just separated so that it doesn't blend in as much, so that you can read them better. The D's next to them mean double, like two movies. The T's are trilogies. The C's are like a collection, like there's a whole bunch of different kinds, spin-offs and whatnot. And yeah, I think that's all that is. Yeah.
Abu Nas, the rookie critic master list that he did not watch yet.
Yes, but I should have crossed a few things off. I have seen John Wick now.
Okay.
Hangover?
007?
I think I've seen bits and pieces of many of them, but I've never seen a full one ever.
Oh, and none of Star Trek at all. I grown up watching that with my grandma. Grease, yes. Fury,
Grease.
yes.
Hateful Eight, bro. You got to see that.
Hurt Locker,
I've
yes.
never seen that either.
Everybody's
The
so
Breakfast
disappointed.
Club. You got the Breakfast Club on there.
I mean, I wrote it down on there
my
because people love
gosh.
it, but I don't care.
Yes. How have you?
The Sixth Sense too. Wow, Training Day. Okay, so I think a lot of your people in your chat now is like very disappointed in you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm for. I'm meant for points. That's all right.
I'm sorry.
Abu Nas is wrecking me as well in there. The rookie critic master list. Yep.
This is roast rookie critic today.
That's my roast of the rookie. That's all good. It's all good.
Oh God, Looper.
Hey, Ricky, I haven't seen that one with the dog that flies and the little kid on top of it. The ending
What?
something. Yeah,
Never
I got a
Ending
lot of
Story?
crap for that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
that
Watch
one.
it.
I've never seen that.
The
Yeah,
ones
I
with
got
dogs that fly.
That one.
Never Ending Story. That is a good one to watch.
That is a
A great
classic.
fantasy one to watch.
Yeah, Jeremy gave me crap for that. I've never seen that movie before.
Oh, you should. It's good. That
Yes.
one, I think there's 3 of them. If I remember right, the third one's really, really crappy. But the first 2 are really, really good. They're good fantasy movies. Really good.
Okay. I have seen The Christmas Story. That's a Christmas one I've seen.
Well, okay. All right. You get points because you at least have seen that one.
I've seen
Up a couple of points now.
I've seen The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen Christmas Carol?
By the way, I hate the freaking reindeer in the sequels because in the first one they just go, and then in the next one they go, I hate that they made the reindeer.
Say it again.
And they have one that's literally retarded. He's like, I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
I've never seen the Santa Claus. I have to watch that.
Okay, what's wrong with you, Ruth? You need to do.
Oh no! Don't you start on her.
You have a list of
right
things
here.
you've never seen.
Yeah,
Give me a
you
break.
can't hound on her. You look at your list, darling.
It's only 150 movies, okay?
Only 100.
Only. That's 150 he could remember that he hasn't seen.
True.
That's just the ones he could remember.
There's a lot that aren't on the list.
Yes.
Not yet. Not yet.
Have you seen A Christmas Carol, Rook?
I've probably seen some little bits of different versions because there's like 50 different versions.
Yeah.
So I've probably seen some, but I don't think I've ever seen one from beginning to end. I've seen shorts of it, like pretty much sum up the whole story in like 10 minutes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How about National Lampoon Vacation?
No.
What?
The first, second,
Oh
third, or
my
I mean,
God.
that's a Christmas right there.
I've seen some of the
None of
National
them?
Lampoon films, but I've not seen the Christmas Vacation one.
Cancel Rookie, you
Oh my
guys.
gosh.
Let's hear it.
Consider me
Seriously.
Yes.
canceled. I'm gonna make a character that's like I'm gonna make a character called the Canceller. It's like cancel them, cancel this, cancel. You've been canceled.
Have
Yes.
you seen Scrooge?
Wait,
Seen what?
Scrooged with what is it, Bill Murray? That's in that one. It's like a Christmas Carol, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's a good one.
No,
good.
mostly because Bill Murray's not really my cup of tea.
Oh, I love Bill Murray.
I love Bill Murray.
Like he's okay, but like I didn't really like Ghostbusters. It's like everybody's like, oh, he was in SNL, and I'm like, yeah, but he's not. I don't know, not doing it for me.
Goodness.
Yeah, cancel Rookie some more in the chat. No?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Because I'm assuming when you said you don't like Ghostbusters, you're not talking about the new crappy one. You're talking about the old ones.
Well, okay. To be fair, if I'm going to compare the two, the classic one is millions of times better than the 2016 one. Even though I don't like the original one, it is way on a pedestal better than the other ones. Like I don't like it, just because I don't personally like it. I can recognize some of its good film qualities, but it's not one that I go, yeah, it's my favorite now. I don't really care.
Okay, so I see Interstellar on there. I didn't care for that, so that is actually
that is one that I really want to see though, because I do like space stuff. So that is on my list to watch definitely.
Hey, Alorha, what's the new what's that new one with Brad Pitt? It's sort of like Interstellar. Have you guys seen that? Any of y'all?
With Brad Pitt?
Mm-hmm. It's a new one. It's he has to go out to Jupiter to save his dad.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Oh, I saw that one. I know what you're talking about.
I haven't seen a new Brad
That
Pitt
one was
stuff.
actually really good.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. I forgot the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen every Brad Pitt movie. That
I haven't
I have
seen all
seen.
of them.
Any Hawkeye movie I've seen, but that one was actually good. What's the name of it? It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's weird. It's called that one movie.
That
was
one
good.
movie with Brad Pitt in it.
Okay, now this is some that I have seen. Let's zoom in. I have seen some of these. Okay, we good?
Okay. I see Spaceballs. and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Dodgeball, that's a good one.
Yes.
Dodgeball, Spaceballs. Is
I've
way
never
better than what we're
seen
doing
that.
with Disney Star Wars. I would watch that. That parody, I would watch it. It's better than what we've gotten so far.
Yes.
Are
Yeah.
these? Oh, these are okay. The C's and D's and all that. What's that mean?
So the D's mean there's like 2 of them. So Bill and Ted, there's 1 and 2. C's mean there's more than 3. And T's is trilogy.
Okay.
I should have put S for series or something, but C's is for like collection. Like there's like X-Men, there's the trilogy, and then there's Origins, and there's Wolverine, and there's Logan, and there's all these other random ones. So
You've seen a good bit. I mean, those are
a bunch of those.
I see Goonies up there, so that's good.
I've seen Goonies. You know, I'm the truffle shuffler of the group thousands, so it's all good. You know.
Yeah, but they're right.
You know
Your
what
name is-
movie?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry,
ahead.
you guys break out a lot. Sorry. I just saw a movie recently with Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called Less Than Zero. It's an amazing movie that he made, like in the I think 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
And, like if you like Robert Downey Jr., I would highly recommend that movie.
I love him.
Less Than Zero. It was so good. It was such a good movie. I just saw it. It made me cry so much. I saw it twice.
Oh wait, is it sad?
I've seen it once.
I don't like sad movies. I feel bad like for 2 days after.
Oh, no. Like I Am Legend.
Oh.
Like, okay, Marley and Me. I went and saw it, and I felt bad for like 2 or 3 days. I was like in a little semi-depression because Marley.
Watch Old Yeller and I Am Legend back to
No,
back.
I will not watch Old Yeller.
Oh.
I have
Oh my
avoided
God,
that
I
movie
love that
my
movie.
entire life, and I'm okay with knowing because they already got me with Where the Red Ferns Grow. They got me with Summer of the Monkey. No more. I will not fall victim to that. I feel like it's going to be Bambi all over again.
Well, it's like because the whole time you get to see them develop and form the a human and dog bond, and then yeah. So, okay, with this list, am I somewhat redeemed? 5 out of 10. How much am I redeemed?
4.
4. I was going to say 4 too. 4.
5, maybe.
Okay, I got some work to do, but you see, I think I have some on here that none of you guys have seen, or at least haven't seen until I brought them up. And these ones that aren't exactly classics, but they're not as well known. Deep in the Valley, starring Chris Pratt, when they go into a porn universe. Y'all haven't seen that? No. Blood Angels.
Yes, I have.
Blood Angels is like some almost Buffy.
No.
If it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but more sexual, kind of like that. There's Tampopo, which is a Japanese comedy about noodles. Have you not seen these? These are masterpieces.
You have some surreal. I don't even know what to say.
I'm working on reviews to show when I'm working on my project. So I'll be I have videos done now, but I'm gonna post them later. And you guys are gonna be like, "Wow, Rookie knows a lot of movies. Who knew?" And then you'll be all surprised.
But did you see his list?
Nobody needs to see that list anymore.
I saw really.
That Star Wars girl saw it on a tweet while she was live streaming, and then was just reading them off. Going, how come he hasn't seen this? And how come he hasn't seen this? And I was like,
I believe it. There's a lot of those on there that are like legitimately like I thought everybody in the world had seen them.
yeah.
Like,
Well, now there's that's the beauty of it, because now you can all witness somebody seeing it for the first time.
that's true. That's true.
And I usually put together watch parties. I was going to do a Die Hard watch party this week, but with the Rise of Skywalker stuff, with it being around Christmas and stuff, I'm like, I'll just wait till after the holidays to do some more watch parties because everybody's busy. So
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of us are doing right now. Is just trying to wait and ride out the holidays and then start fresh in 2020.
Yeah.
Because I know that's kind of what I'm doing over here. It's just
I've been watching the heck out of Sex in the City, so that's my favorite, like go-to, like unwind stuff.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Who are you? Are you? I'm Samantha.
I took one of those little quizzes and I ended up being Carrie.
I would
Oh,
say
I
I'm
did- I took a-
Charlotte. Definitely
Oh,
Charlotte.
okay.
I'm
I
Mr.
took
Big.
a quiz on Facebook. You're.
I remember I had to suffer
I
myself
love
through
Sex in the City.
Yes,
Oh my
I do
God.
too. Mhm.
I took
Mhm.
the tour when I was in New York. Oh, it was awesome.
Oh God, I envy you. That's
It
what I
was
want
so
to do. I
good.
want to go to the actual place, everything. Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
It was great. It's just a tour bus, but they take you there. It was awesome. I loved it. It was so good. It was good.
Did they go by
what
Carrie's
movie?
apartment?
Yeah.
That's
Huh?
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
What
Well,
movie
okay.
I saw today with my niece? I don't know if you guys ever seen a Tell City. It's about a mouse that gets stuck in the city. It's a cartoon.
Oh,
You know
I
what I'm
have
talking
seen
about?
that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. I watched that with one of my little ones. Yes.
I've seen.
Yeah, I saw that with my niece today. That's a great Christmas movie for kids.
Mhm.
I don't think I've
I
seen.
forgot the name of it.
I've seen a
That was
Flintstones Christmas. No.
No, turn it around.
No.
Turn it around. We're not talking about Flintstones.
Nope.
Every
I
single
got the
one of them.
Flintstones.
Christmas with the Cranks. That's
That one's not bad.
Elf.
Loved
Yeah,
it.
Elf.
Loved Elf.
Yes, we watch that all the time when it comes on. Also, too, our favorite go-to is also Charlie Brown Christmas.
I've seen Charlie Brown.
Oh yeah,
That's a classic
that's
one
one
you
of my
need to watch.
favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Rudolph. All those are great Christmas movies.
Yeah. Nightmare
Yeah.
Before Christmas too. In fact, my house is kind of like that right now. Outside, I still have some Halloween stuff I have to take down.
gonna say-
Wow.
You seem like you'd have a little bit something like that. Yeah.
You don't even live in the South.
Like year-round holiday stuff. It's just that's the house.
My trailer still has Halloween stuff too. But
I have a neighbor across the street that still has their pumpkin from Halloween, but it's like just imploding upon itself. I don't know what it's doing, but every day I walk out there to see, because they're obviously not going to throw it away. This is a collector's item for them. They were proud of this carving job, and it's still sitting out there. And I just wonder how long until it finally just completely, disintegrates there on their porch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it will.
It will eventually. Yeah, I go out there, and every few days I'll look and say, "Oh shit, that pumpkin's still there." And I go back inside, like, "All right, well, y'all do it."
So
Y'all do this
gross.
pumpkin thing.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
I think that's a good segue. So, what do you guys like to do around the holidays? What do you guys, you guys all ready? Are you guys all set up completely or no?
I am.
I am.
am.
I'm making
To a
tamales
point.
and
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As for me, I kind of shared a little bit about mine. So I am in between still transitioning. And it's already almost time. And basically what we do is we usually celebrate with family Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, I get up, I cook a big Christmas brunch with ham. And I use that Italian bread. Was it panna cotta bread or whatever? It almost looks like a, what do you call it? A fruit cake, but it's not. So I cut that up and I make French toast out of that, which is really, really good. And then so I feed everybody. Then I put on a standing rib roast. We don't do turkey or ham, and roasted vegetables. And we all sit around and enjoy each other, talk, watch some holiday movies, and call it a day.
That sounds like a delicious meal.
Yeah.
And I'm picky, so that sounds good. For a picky guy.
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit different, but probably because I have the little ones. So their last day of school is tomorrow. And then I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock for almost a month. I'm going to be doing my happy dance all day tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
Done with that for a month. But I usually do let's say the 22nd, we do the gingerbread house. I've already bought it, but we haven't done it. The 24th, we do homemade cookies and then decorate them for Santa. And then Christmas morning, we're waking up, opening our stuff, and I'm headed to Tennessee to a cabin for a couple of days. So no, y'all don't get excited. It's with the whole extended family. It's like a 15-room
Sorry for you.
So yeah, that's what y'all should be doing is going, oh, I'm sorry.
My aunt,
my mom, my sister, my brother, all their kids. Yeah, it's a hot mess.
my aunt wanted to do that. She's like, oh, we can have a lodge and just go up there and have like 20 people. And we're like, let's just meet in the summer where it's not like this. No, not on
Right, because now, see, what they don't realize now is I've got all these cousins and stuff coming too that I haven't bought for. So now, as new people get added to the list of people coming, I'm having to keep going back to the store and buying little like Bath and Body. I've just been doing Bath and Body Works gift sets for the girls, and I've been getting flasks for the guys because I figure they're going to need a flask while they're there, so they can booze it up a little bit to tolerate all the women that are there. So.
Well, it's like when there's 20 people, there's how many times can you go to the bathroom? How can people shower and get all dressed? Like, yeah, it's not the best family vacation if that's
no. It's gonna be a hot mess, but it'll be fun. I'll torment the crap out of family I haven't seen in a while, and then I'll load up my kids and come home.
I imagine, but for your gingerbread houses, you should do Wart the Wizard gingerbread houses.
Oh my gosh, I should.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it. Rookie, I'm doing it now. I am. Y'all watch. I'm gonna post it the next day. I'm gonna make purple icing. It's gonna be a wizard house.
And if you don't see if your audience could, because that'd be cool.
That would be awesome. That would be really cool.
All right, so this is for our cook, our master chef on here, Ruthie. What I like to do too as well is I love to make homemade candies. So I like to make homemade truffles, all that. So usually I do that. And what I do for family is do a little gift basket full of like breads and candies and stuff like that. So are you going to do anything on that with your channel for the holidays, Ruthie? Is she here?
I couldn't hear you. Sorry. What did you say?
Okay, so I like to do holiday candy. So I make homemade candies like chocolate truffles, different styles, and I love to bake as well. And I do gift baskets for family and friends sometimes. Are you going to do anything like that for your channel?
Oh, well, for my channel, I'm not a big baker. I usually just like do we'll do pozole, or like that's usually the Christmas tradition is pozole, tamales, or enchiladas. But my niece does. She's gonna be baking on the channel, and she can do cookies. We do is with like in piñatas. We take like little bags and we'll put each one lies from Mexico, and we'll put it in a piñata, and on the day before Christmas we'll break the piñata, and then all the little kids get their treats. That's one holiday tradition that we usually do, and we get together with the family. But in my family there's 13 of us, so when we get together there's a lot, everybody comes over, and instead of everyone giving gifts, like they'll bring the food. We'll have a big potluck for Christmas, and it's just the day before Christmas is what we usually celebrate more than Christmas Eve. Everyone usually stays with their family, but we'll get together at my grandmother's house and we'll just have a big celebration. It's usually the same thing every year. We break the piñata, we all eat, and we'll watch movies. It's basically what we do every year.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about, family. I mean, it's like that if you have a barbecue during the summer, the 4th of July, or anything. But coming together is the best part, What we do is, we do the same thing as everyone. We get together, and this year we're celebrating the fact that we got out of an apartment and do a home finally.
Oh, so, congratulations! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That is
family.
Yeah, now you can get good Wi-Fi. Thank you.
So people in chat, what is your favorite holiday treat? So what is your favorite like candy, breads, or whatever? Share in the chat. Share with us. What do you like?
Good question.
That is a good one.
Surprisingly, so I'm a picky person when it comes to food, but not by choice, just by taste preferences, I guess. But I do like cinnamon rolls, bacon, some OJ. French toast. Oh, that's also good. Really good. Pancakes are preferable too. That's pretty much the classic holiday breakfast ish that I would do. Yeah.
So those who watch me on my channel know that over, Thanksgiving, I had kind of a little embarrassing situation with a pumpkin pie. I went and got it, I baked it, and then I ate the whole damn thing by myself. And it was, and I swore I wasn't going to make another one. I told everybody I'm not doing one for Christmas because I didn't embarrass myself at Thanksgiving. So I'm just not going to make one because I can't control myself. I'm like a crackhead with pumpkin pie. So I was setting up my Christmas order, and I'll be damned if pumpkin pie recipe didn't pop back up on there. So now apparently I'm going to do pumpkin pie on Christmas as well, which means, another 5 pounds or so.
You need to make two little pumpkin pies. So then when you have your real pumpkin pie, you can have like I can't eat that one. Okay, eat one of the other ones.
No, getting me smaller ones is even more dangerous. That's more dangerous because then it doesn't look like I'm eating that much. I don't sit there and
close your eyes. Close your eyes and pretend it's just huge.
I'll just keep eating the damn things. I'm addicted. Seriously. Yeah. I want my store bought. It has to be one that I made. But I've said it before. I think I could out eat EVS with pumpkin pies. If you laid pumpkin pies in front of Ethan and pumpkin pies in front of me, I think I could take them down. I think I could eat more.
I believe you.
I love pumpkin pie. It's no joke. The struggle is real with being the pumpkin pie.
I feel like he'd be at 2 pies in, he'd be kind of tired out by then. I think you'd be ready to go. He'd be like, "What? We're already done? Okay, let's do some more." And
yeah, go get me another pie.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, I'm doing a lot of cooking, more so than I had planned on it. I ordered just for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I ordered my groceries, and it was like $300, and I'm like, that's for 2 days of food. What the hell have I done? But I'm baking all kinds of pies and cakes and cookies and a big ham this year. So maybe that's what happened. But yeah, I'm going to be cooking a lot. And then carrying it all in a picnic basket on the road. I legit have a picnic basket. I'm loading all that crap up, and we're going to eat it on the way to Tennessee.
Wow. Awesome. Love it.
I'm going to be very Christmassy and order a pizza the day before and just bake that on Christmas Day.
Look at you. You can get them. I used to work at a Papa John's, and anytime sometimes parents would call and be like, "Hey, I'm ordering, my kids, it's their birthday, and I'm ordering them a pizza. Can you deliver it to their house? And here's my card." And so I would always take the pepperoni and write "Happy Birthday" and do designs with the toppings. You may be able to get somebody there to do "Merry Christmas" across it. Because I would even do a tree. I would find green toppings and maybe the bell peppers and make a tree out of it, put it in the middle with ornaments. I would go all out, but
I imagine it. You probably want the people to make the pizza, the whole dough in the shape of a tree or something, and have that be the pizza with it.
That is hard to make shapes. The best shape I ever got was I did make a pizza that was, I don't know, probably this big, but it was shaped like a wiener. I did do that when I worked there, and it was awesome. And yeah, that was our meal that night. Everybody liked it when I said, "All right, you guys, here's our free food for the day." Yeah, we got wiener pizza, y'all. Enjoy. Everybody's like, seriously? Yeah, y'all eat that. Y'all like it. Y'all love it.
Eat it whole.
Eat it all.
If it's got garlic on a pizza is good. So
yes.
So you'll eat a wiener pizza with garlic.
That's what he's saying. He don't want to admit it now, but yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, it depends if I'm picky or not on that day. But
depends if you're picky. That.
You see, that's when I was younger.
So I know we're supposed to try to keep this, rated in such a.
We haven't said anything inappropriate, actually. So it's all good, it's okay. It's all good.
I have to go now.
Yep, I figured I was about to say,
talking to you guys.
Ruthie, it was so good talking to you finally. Seriously.
I know. I'll stream with you another time. I promise. We'll stream again. I have to go to work. You guys take care. Go ahead, do the
Yes.
spoilers if you want.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome talking to
Bye,
all
darling.
of you.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay,
coming
yes.
on,
bye.
Ruth.
Great to see you.
We'll have to
Ruthie.
do
Okay.
our women live stream too. So
Oh yes, we'll get together with that. All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.
Later. All right, you guys can find her link down in the description below. Jade is probably going to post that, or if he's not already doing that, he's already ahead of us. Cool. So yeah, subscribe to Ruthie. She will be posting cooking stuff on her channel. You're going to want to see it. So
I'm excited about that too because I can't cook Mexican food at all.
oh,
Like I don't know any good recipes. So like I can do Southern stuff all day. Like y'all want some country fried steak and gravy? I got y'all. I can do that, but unless it's like a taco kit, I'm kind of screwed on that. So,
taco kit.
yeah.
Tortillas, guacamole, and taco stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
It's easy to make Italian, right?
Italian's easy. Yes, I'm pretty good with Italian. I know quite a few of those. It's like Chinese recipes. I can't make Chinese food. I love Chinese food. I wish I could make Chinese food.
That's a tough one.
I don't even know, like, because you go to like the store and buy it and it doesn't taste the same as it does at restaurants.
Yeah.
Like lo mein, I don't know. Maybe you got to buy this stuff from somewhere special to get real. I don't know.
My whole life, I've tried to make chicken fried rice, and I can't freaking do it.
I can make fried rice. I am Native American Filipino, and I have some French and Italian blood in me as well.
Damn.
So I can make fried rice. I can make adobo. I've made just recently a deer meat. What do you call it? Fajitas.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So. And
you have all the cultures that have good food, so you can make anything you want.
Yeah, and right now I'm in California, so basically that's a lot of the cultures that you can. It's easy access to even get your supplies to make Mexican food and stuff. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. See, that may be where I'm failing is living in the South. There's really not a lot of places to go and buy the different culture of food. You go to a Walmart or you go to a Publix or a Piggly Wiggly or so, it's one of those to go get your groceries.
Where do you live? There's a Piggly Wiggly.
There ain't been one in years. They keep closing the damn things down, but I still like saying the name.
That was the name of my kickball team in 4th grade. We're like the Piggly Wigglies. There we go. Boom.
Believe it or not, I do live near a Piggly Wiggly, but it's a small.
You have to show me.
Really?
You have to take a picture, and I'll believe you.
I will.
Like, where the hell?
Does not sound like a real place. But anyway, so with Ruthie out of the building, everybody in the chat, if you guys don't want any type of Star Wars leakage stuff, get the hell out of here, because that's what we're going to get into. Mandy, I know that the rest of the chat is aware of this, Flip and Alorha, but are you aware of all the Star Wars leakage of the Rise of Skywalker, this massive wet stain? Are you aware?
I have seen the fight between Rey and Palpatine, and I was just like, "Wow, that's impressive there! Holy crap! Yeah." So I've read some stuff that was disturbing. So yeah, I think I'm up to date on. You may pop one or two out on me that I don't haven't heard yet, but I think I'm pretty much up to date on how they have went there just totally ruined. But they began with the first one. So, but Kathleen's continuing her she's doing good. She's rocking on.
Well, I'd say since Alorha is probably the most recently into this stuff, I'd say if you could start from the beginning of this, where would you start, Alorha, with the Rise of Skywalker, stuff going on?
All right, so I've been on Toxic Femininity with Mary Mayhem and Geeky Candy and stuff. We did discuss a lot of the leaks. But I've been getting some DMs with a couple of scenes that are towards the end of the film. And it's basically when she declares herself a Skywalker and she has the twins as sabers. So I have those. I have those clips. It's 2 clips. Where I'm at with this right now and with my channel, I have been given, like, I did one review out of order, out of Legacy of the Force, because I want to give some hope out there, and I'm saying this with the true sense of what Star Wars is and who Luke Skywalker is. He's the hope. So I did Legacy of the Force book 6, which is Inferno, on my channel as a review, and I've been sharing it now and then since the movie's been coming close to its viewing and it's airing. And it's basically about Jason and Luke and their battle together and stuff. It kind of parallels what's going on in the trilogy, not necessarily the Rise of Skywalker. However, it gives you a sense of where the true, genuine goodness of Star Wars is. Now, with Rise of Skywalker, where I'm at with that, I didn't want to review it on my channel, and I won't review it on my channel. I'm well aware of all the leaks and how they have spoiled the movie. I was trying to steer clear from that, was sharing it even on Twitter, like I shared now and then. And then when I woke up this morning and I seen a clip about who are all Force ghosts that came to talk with Rey. And again, spoilers, you guys don't want to know. Don't visit me on Twitter and, leave. Sorry, leave. I'm not trying to be rude. Leave.
Just leave.
Just leave.
Yes.
Get out of there.
It breaks the movie continuity. It breaks the movie lore. It's lore breaking to the movies. Just talking generally the movies. It breaks the continuity of the movies. And why I say that with these guys being Force ghosts and talking with Rey is that when you look at the list of them, there are Jedi on there, like Mace Windu, for example, that never got training to be a Force ghost. He died before Qui-Gon came to Yoda, and then Yoda then was trained Yoda, and then Yoda trained Ben to be a Force ghost.
Jeez.
And so it breaks its own continuity with the Foundation movies.
And it's convoluted, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they may fill in the blanks with the Mace Windu show, but you shouldn't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
No,
But filling in the
that-
blanks is still going to ruin the lore even more, because
it does.
it ruins Revenge of the Sith towards the end when when Yoda is talking with Kenobi saying, I have more training for you.
Yep. And that's Qui-Gon, he's the first Jedi to ever learn how to communicate beyond the grave.
Yep.
Right? I mean, okay, I think there's technically some, if they're attached to some object in some way, like with Sith with artifacts, there's Jedi with like locations as well. That was the only other remnants, right? Anything close?
If they're attached to stuff like the Sith can be attached, then it still breaks the lore in a sense, because when you get into Legends, and again, this is Legends, and Disney hardly has anything out yet with their expanded or their Explain universe. I like to call it Explained because that's what they're doing with it. They're explaining everything that they're doing in the movies. They're not expanding on it. They're explaining it. Is that in the Thrawn trilogy, when Obi-Wan visits Luke, it's on Coruscant. Obi-Wan never died on Coruscant.
True.
And so maybe the attachment, if you want to go that way, which basically attachment is never a Jedi thing, really, right? So if they are stuck on someone, maybe it's their Padawans that they train to become knights. That would make a little bit more sense. But then why haven't we seen Yoda help him out in the past? So there's a lot of splaining to do, Lucy.
Yeah. Well, and it's like with the Yoda and Obi-Wan, it seemed like they specifically hung around Luke as the Force Ghost because they died without completing their mission. And so once that mission was over, they have no more reason to ever talk to them again, because that was their purpose, basically. They're like, okay, we can muster up what we need to give some guidance beyond the grave, and that's it. And if they failed, then we're screwed. But, that's what they can at least do without needing to be present and physically there for them to worry about. So that's how I kind of saw it. And it seems just really ridiculous. And this is a good EU question, because the fact that they keep on taking things that were inspired from other books, like even Thrawn, like like Lucas himself didn't make those books, right? Maybe he had a little bit of input here and there on some books, but those were individual authors, right? That were using Star Wars. So it seems like they're taking ideas that don't belong to them. They're saying, okay, they don't count, but we're going to take that. And it's like, if I was that author, I'd be pissed.
Well, the thing is too is like, so we know George will say one thing and then say another. So he has contradicted himself so many times within his own franchise and stuff. But when you look at it, yes, he has say in everything that's put out, especially when it comes to his movie characters. That's the number one say he has in. And I did a video on this, and actions speak louder than words. So when we get George Lucas contradicting himself, look at the actions. His employees are not going to do counter George and what he wants for his franchise. So
Right.
that's where I tell people, they say it's canon. It's in the movies are the foundation. That's why they're up here. Then everything else blends in with it. It's all canon together. It all expands on each other very, very well.
Right.
And that's because that's how George wanted. And so the writers were brought in. They are licensed under him and other, and other editors to help get these books out. However, it's still part of the franchise. It's still George's property.
Right. So when Disney says we're going to nuke them, but then take from them, is that technically within their rights, or it's still, I don't know. It just seems like the authors of those books, the writers, like, I mean, this seems like they have some good ideas for their stories, of course, and then they're just going to go, yeah, that was pretty neat. Let's take that. It's like, what? What do you mean?
Well, you have authors even saying we worked with George on this, or George wanted us to do this, and again, that's when they wanted to kill off Luke Skywalker in New Jedi Order, and George said, nope. Take the Wookiee instead. Sorry. Take the Wookiee instead.
I read that part in the New Jedi Order series, and that was a dramatic moment. Like they did very well in describing how the characters are reacting to it. And, very well with it and good moments. And it's like, I don't think that the movies need to copy anything from it. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like they should have worked better with Lucasfilm, with the people that have worked on properties in the past. The ones on the present. I feel better if they are like, okay, those books don't technically count, but people that worked on them are working with us here, so we're not just cherry picking what we want from them. It's still the creators.
And then George even said in one of the interviews, and I really need to do a review on that interview, but he said basically, I gave Lucasfilm, I gave them Disney, and this goes off the videos, but basically he gave them all the lore. That's including the books. He even said and then they have Luke and Leia's kids to use, and they didn't use them, which means that he's acknowledging Ben Skywalker, Jaina and Jason Solo, and Anakin. I gave them all that to use, and they don't want to use it.
Damn.
Guys, not to.
I don't know if it's just me. It feels like Disney's writers, they don't love Star Wars. They never did. It seems they either that or they don't. And I'm sorry. I know Disney's on everybody's like crap list right now, but I typically love Disney. I'm very girly. I love the princess stuff. I like the music. But with this, it seems like they got writers in there that just genuinely did not care about the movies. And it's not one character in the new ones are relatable or have had an arc built or anything. It's just like, hey, here's Snoke. He's a bad guy. Be scared. Okay, he's dead.
We're hanging out, chilling, all maxing, relaxing, all cool, and slicing some stuff up down by the pool. And
it's like there's not one character that was written. They just didn't bother to write a character. They wrote a little storyline, but there's no character development. It's very hollow. They're very, very hollow. I don't feel a connection to even one character. I've found more of a connection with Baby Yoda in 3 seconds than I have in, 2 movies? 2 whole movies with these characters. I could care less.
I don't understand what their agenda came up for. We already had strong women. We already had
Correct.
different cultural backgrounds, but they're like, oh, hey, look, we're putting strong women in this. Hello, we're going to represent the alphabet people. We've got, cultural diversity. They're just saying it, and then they're doing it.
And the thing is, they're pushing this strong women. There's a strong woman in it. What makes her strong? What did she do? What did she overcome?
She goes grr.
Yeah, she overcame nothing. There is nothing in her that yells to me, all right, Princess Leia, strong woman, right?
All right.
Yeah, and it's like when she first started her first scenes in The Force Awakens, I liked her first scenes where there's no dialogue. She's scavenging because they're telling us about her without saying anything, which I liked. She says scavenging a Star Destroyer. She's getting her own food, her own way, trading out some parts, cleaning things up to sell or something. She seems to see with the droid. That was a character thing that I think would have been cooler. Is if instead of her trying to free the captured droid, if she was trying to catch the droid, like, oh, I'm going to get that part. That'd be awesome. I could sell that. And then, maybe she feels sympathy for it as she's dragging it back or something. And that could have been a connectable thing when she meets Finn. Like, I don't care if she's strong enough to beat up those guys. That's fine. But, maybe just not. She just seemed more, they focused on, oh, I don't need your help. And it's just like, yeah, but so is she social or not? Because she lives by herself, seems to have been raised by herself. She doesn't seem like she'd be a social person. But I mean, so it'd be in a different way. I think her reactions would be more fear or confusion than of, I'm tough. It'd be more of like, what the hell is going on? Like, instead of the way that she was, which I think that would have been more interesting. Because then if she went into space for the first time, you can see her react like, what the hell? Like, where am I? And, like even with Anakin, he was like, it's cold out here. And he's from a desert planet.
Yes.
He's like, that's a great type of thing to include, a small thing to include, but that makes it feel better. And that's why when people say, oh, it's science fiction, it's not realistic, that kind of pisses me off, because I'm like, no, they establish what is the fake in it and what's real in it. Like the explosions, that's a fake thing that's not real, but that's what they do. Same with sounds in space, but they establish something gets opened or breached, then you air out. If that happens, they die, they'll get killed, and it's cold out there. There's all these things. You need the air to breathe in the ship. You need engines to go. It's I don't know. So
I watched The Force Awakens last night, and it's funny you would bring that up, Mandy, and you did bring that up, right? It was you, I think. And Rey is strong right there at the beginning, but she's like a normal strong. Like she has to struggle, and you get the first scene with Kylo Ren is great. You get to see the new Force power. It's not ridiculous. I'm totally
the laser. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But I agreed with the guy. So and you get this good dialogue between Poe and the old man where make things right. Laura Santeca.
Yeah.
And then you see the old guy get struck down. Oh, Kylo's a badass. He's scary. And it takes you in. I really looked through that lens with childhood memories. Like, I'm scared of Vader. When I was 5 years old, that dude scared me.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was the big baddie, and I mean, he was that dark figure, and it's still today he is the #1 villain, and I can't believe that Disney and people are trying to say now Kylo is now overranking Vader. That's bullshit.
Way.
No, I was saying on the last stream, Kylo, they turned him into a man baby.
Yes.
He's just Darth Vader wasn't a man baby. Anakin was not a man baby. I mean, he was okay. They kind of, don't get me wrong, they kind of with the mannequin.
He grew out of it.
He did.
Well, I will defend Anakin in a sense that when you look at him, he came into the Jedi Order at 9 years old. He already had attachment. He lost his mom because she couldn't go with him. He met Padme, and I would say kind of in a sense, this is like an attachment issue. Like, okay, I lost my mom, Padme, she's gorgeous. I'm going to still think about her. And then going through all this stuff, I mean, compared to Jedi that were brought in as babies are little, where that's all they know and they don't have that attachment. So I think in a sense, what George was trying to do basically was given an angsty teen going into adult years. And Hayden did what he could with it, it makes
I agree.
to his
Well,
arc.
It's like he's
I agree.
basically a monk, and like he's away from her, the person that on the backwater planet of Tatooine, you know, in the backwoods. There's no women that look like that on there. And
Exactly.
he's like, you're different. Are you this mythical species that is of beauty or something? And then he grows up without her around. So he's like, yeah, okay, I can. It's no problem. Of course, I'll swear off women. No big deal. He's gonna go see her 10 years later. Oh, I'm gonna go see her. Oh, shoot.
Right in front of the in the candy store.
Yes.
And
now, I fully agree with that. That's
the team that kind of orchestrated all this as well. If you look at every single point in there, you know, and if you read Darth Plagueis' novel, you will see what a great mastermind Palpatine was. He was head of both wars.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
That is true.
But yeah, it's like
yay, entertainment hacker. Good job.
entertainment's in the house. What's up? But yeah, like a lot of people, when people criticize Hayden Christensen's acting and they say they don't like Anakin, I'm like, did you think he'd be like, yo, what's up, babe? Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I can do this. And it's like,
Badass. Yeah.
Because if anything, yeah, I mean, he is kind of like a Luke character, but instead of being abandoned and like being the only one, there's all these other people around him, and it's like he's got to show himself. He's got to show other people up, is how he feels. And he started out late, so everyone else already had a head start. But he's already doing better than them, so he thinks he's better than everyone, and always gets proven wrong. Like, oh, I can just do this. I can handle anything, and then he fails every time because he sets his own expectations up here, and it's like. Yeah, you know, that's some good character stuff. And so even when he has his freak out on the Tusken Raiders, like Mary kind of thinks that it's crazy that Padme still liked him, but it's like they didn't see Tusken Raiders as humans. They were beasts. They killed his mom, one of the only people he was ever attached to. You know, so it doesn't matter. Like if a couple of hogs, a hog family killed someone you loved, when you killed all them, would anybody really blame you? I mean, for letting out your aggression? Like, you know, that's how it was for that. And she also at her age, being a young senator or a young leader of her people or something, for whatever reason she is.
That's attractive.
You know.
I'm sorry, that's attractive when you have this lady that knows her shit and stuff. That's attractive.
Well, I'm saying Anomaly Inc. is he's like one of the best prequel defenders on YouTube, I'd say. And like he brings up, like, you know, when she met Anakin, yes, he was like a kid at the time, but he's close to her age by a few years, you know. And it's like she's always doing all these different type of people around her. Anakin is like just the first one that's just interested in her as for who she is, not her job or something. So she herself probably had her own connection with that boy. That was like, you know, hey, you know, this kid is kind of cool. He's all right. He's just from this own thing. He was a slave, his mom and everything. And now he's taken away to be a monk and a warrior, like all these things. So she had her own connections, I would say, with that. So
yeah, exactly. And so now, spoilers, we get this 2.0 wannabe Anakin turning to wannabe Vader, who basically doesn't like what he hears and uses his saber, which is supposed to be a fine weapon, basically, you know, from what Obi-Wan states in the OT, and he uses the saber to destroy whatever because he's pissed.
Yeah, which is also disappointing because I actually like that it's a cross guard, because if you guys ever watch the channel Shadowversity, like he explains like how them not having cross guards on a lightsaber is stupid because it slides and, you know, you can just easily, you know, destroy each other. But you got a cross guard, you can do a deflection, you can block a little easier. So it made sense. But yeah, I agree. He's like, I'm just going to ignite it and go wham, 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 wham. At least
he reminds me I go to school with my son. Like he's that kid like when I was growing up, they would wear these trench coats and have long hair in their face. But you know, nowadays like that, sitting in the corner, that one goth kid or whatever. I know that comparison's been made a lot, but he doesn't come across scary at all.
No. Did y'all see him on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Where he was calling and she's like, I want my muffin, Matt. And she that was hilarious. That's the best thing he could have done.
That stuff was hilarious. And Adam Driver is funny like that. And it's like when I saw him on SNL, I was like, you know, he does make a kind of funny leader, you know, like he would have been okay-ish. But they just did nothing with him. for it.
No.
So it was pretty bad. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed that they had him start out with his helmet at all, because it's just like, you don't need, in my opinion, he doesn't need to have a helmet of any kind, because that is just copying Vader no matter what you do. And it's like, I don't think he needs to have a super injury that scars his face. I don't care about that. He still could have been cool as he was. It just depends on how he actually behaves. And it's like, he could have been like, this Kylo could have been what people wanted Anakin to be, like this kind of cool little thing, but it just could have been executed well. You know, it could have been done a little differently. So you're like, okay, how are we judging him? What is his character going to be? What is he going to do here? How can we end up liking this guy? Is he going to be a douche or something? Like, who knows? But they just made him bland. And
so bland. You know. There's no sustenance to them. There's nothing. They're just there. They're characters. I don't feel like it.
And to me, that goes with Rey, as to where if she started out like more scared and timid-ish, and he's this, you know, more scared, you know, more intimidating dude, this could have been some type of different thing here. Not saying Reylo stuff, but I'm saying, like, as far as character, like, she would have to face him, this guy that's terrifying or something. And she, you know, like, I even had different ideas where if she's being a scavenger, she could have had like a head of a protocol droid, and then that's how she learns how to speak Wookiee, if they wanted to have her learn a language.
Exactly. They're just explaining again in their explain universe, because it makes no sense. You know, like we see her only using a modified speeder, or whatever the hell that is, for her transportation, but we don't get any sense of her even leaving the planet at all. When we see Luke Skywalker in the OT, there's all kinds of explanation just by his reaction to, like, oh yeah, I shot, you know, in my T-16, you know, the Womp Rats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's explained that way, in just so much sense, just a little bit goes a long way for development, you know, and we're not supposed to write the story for the producers.
Right.
Or read all their books and comics. Just
yeah, I didn't need to read the expanding universe if I didn't want to understand the movies. I read them because I wanted to know more.
Right.
Right.
Well, and they did a good job making Luke not the best at everything. Like, they said he's skilled in certain areas, sure, but it's like he gets knocked out by Tusken Raider. He has to get saved by Obi-Wan in the bar. When he's doing the attack run on the Death Star, it's not him just going badass on into it. Everyone else had to die first, and then anyone else that was left had to, you know, clear the way. You know, he couldn't have done it without Han. And, you know, and with the Force, like, people could say, oh, that's a huge risk with the Force, but it's like, it seemed like that was more with senses. Like, he's barely using it. It's just, you know, able to use it, as to where Rey is able to literally use like a super master technique. That's like, whoa, you're not supposed to do that yet. And it's like, they didn't care. And even, like, it seemed like in Empire Strikes Back, that was a year or so later, like, he struggled to do to get the lightsaber to him from a few feet away. Like, that was a new technique he's still kind of figuring out. So it's like, and I'm okay if she's powerful with the Force, if the Force Awakens is what they wanted to do. I'm actually okay if she's super powerful with it. But that's how, like, again, if she's like scared of her own power, like, you know, showing it, like, holy shit, like, I don't want to touch anybody because I'm going to accidentally kill them. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, you know, they could have had something to where she needs to learn how to control it or something. And
she didn't have to have any training. There's no training involved. She's just, I'm a female. I'm amazing. Watch this, you guys.
And it's like,
hold my beer. Watch this.
It makes me think of the show Heroes 2, where the one girl is basically invincible. Like, she can just do whatever she wants. She can't get killed. But they go out of their way to show that she's not unstoppable. Like, she's invincible. She can't die, but she can be incapacitated. She can be tricked. She can be fooled easily. You know, she can be knocked out. There's plenty of different things you can do to her. You can suffocate her, drown her. You can, you know, just do all these different things that'll knock her out or something. And, you know, that shows that she's got room to grow. As to where with this, it's like you have no idea where she can grow, because when she needs to do something, she's able to do it. And with Luke, it's like there wasn't that. You know,
I will expound on that some more. Let's go to the Chosen One.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, clip.
Let's go to the Chosen One. He basically, again, bringing back midichlorians. He has the largest midichlorians, and we talked about this backstage, I think, too. He has the largest midichlorians than Yoda, than anybody in the Jedi Order, which means that he has so much capability of using the Force. However, we see him use innate Force abilities. Again, innate, which means instinct for piloting to survive. That's
Yep.
what is in canon, is that every Force user, who can be trained or whatever, no matter what, they have that innate ability, which means sometimes you can lift a very, very small object too as well. But that's just instinct. You have to be trained, and the chosen one had to be trained. This is where you steer away from continuity again, because that's established. And spoiler alert, he came from nobody.
Yep, literally.
Yep.
Literally from nobody. No, I agree completely, and that's one of the biggest things that annoys me with the sequels, because it's like technically Luke, Anakin, and Rey started out as nobodies and all had some type of natural thing with the Force, and it's like the only thing was with the first two, with Luke and Anakin, they had to develop them. As for with her, they're like, nah, she's a pro and she knows what she's doing, and it's like. Mm-hmm. If anything, that would have been interesting if she was super powerful with the Force, horrible fighter. Like, there's different things you could have done to show, again, that she's not all powerful as she thinks she is. She can be taken down. She's not, that would have been kind of cool to see even a bounty hunter go one-on-one with her and take her out. It's like, whoa, you got a lot to learn still. You're not the best. You can't just take on whoever you want. You could still die. It's like if you're in space, and you want to use your Force powers in space on a spaceship, you're going to get killed too. Like, it's different things could have, different scenarios they could have put them in that could have been more interesting.
Yeah.
I hated the structure of The Last Jedi too, because it was like they just jumped around to at least 4 different locations. And to me, I was really confused onto what the hell is happening, because they'd show one like 5 seconds here and then 10 seconds here and then like a minute on somewhere else. And like I look down and then they're on a different scene. I'm like, what?
I never watched it. I was like, they destroyed, like I said, I seen all this coming, so I should have just steered away from The Force Awakens as well. Once they decanonized the EU, coined it Legends, I should have just said, okay, they're retconning. I knew they were going to retcon, but I didn't know that they were going to retcon even the movies. I mean, a little bit. I kind of suspected it. And then as I started watching this all unravel through The Force Awakens and Rogue One and stuff, I knew they were cherry picking. And I knew they were retconning, so I am like, they're screwing up Luke's arc. They're going to screw up the Skywalker's arc for this woman. Sure enough.
Yep. What would you guys have done differently with the Rogue One? Did you see Rogue One, Mandy?
I've seen pieces. I didn't actually watch the whole thing.
I don't blame you. I feel like that was the most boring one.
It was, yeah. I had it on. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably working or something. Like it was playing, and it couldn't hold my interest. Honestly,
I
couldn't.
Yeah, I think that was the most creepy.
Did you?
That was pretty good. Yeah,
that's fine. I don't know. To me, I couldn't get into it because it was just to me it made no sense either. Like everything they're doing, I'm like, why is it set up like this? Why is this what they're doing? They had a stormtrooper doll. They landed way the heck away from a farm place. Everything they're doing just doesn't seem like it makes any sense. And then they show, then they keep on, they go to like 10 planets in 5 minutes, and they show the name and the outside of the planet. I'm like, can you just cut to the planet or something? And then just, if somebody needs to say the name, sure. But if not, do we need to know where we are really on each planet? The girl itself, it didn't make any sense with what they're doing. They're like, oh, we broke you out of a prison and we're going to put you back there if you don't do this. It's like, but you really into the Imperial prison? Is that the law that you guys follow too or not? That's kind of weird. The fight scenes, they literally beat up stormtroopers with sticks. I do know that Ewoks did that too, but that is no excuse to continue to do stupid stuff like that. You can't just
made sense with the Ewoks.
Yeah,
I still love it.
That's what I'm saying. I know Ewoks did it too, but it's like that doesn't mean they have to have everyone do it too. Because then, if that's the case, why not have a unicorn come in and stab them? I mean, it just why not do anything if we're gonna go with anything goes?
We've already got space horses.
We're almost there.
We're one thing away from having unicorns running out there in space.
Now that is great.
Maybe that's where all the unicorns went to in our world. They went over there to the galaxy far, far away.
That's what happened. That's what happened. So that's why we don't have unicorns right now, because they're all running around up there.
But they'd have lightsabers instead of a regular horn.
Yeah, it's a lightsaber horn.
Yeah, but but I don't know. So like with Rogue One, it's like she beats them with batons. The blind guy beats them with a pole stick and kicks sand. And you just watching it, he kicks sand in one of their faces. They have helmets on. Like they get punched, and it's like, you know, that should hurt your hand, not them, when they have armor on. It's like, you know, that was
out of all the movies they've given us, it's just the best one.
Yeah, hands down it is the best one out of that. I mean, I give them that. There, you know, it gives people an idea, especially those who don't know about dark forces and stuff. Again, cherry picked from it, major time. Just rearrange the characters. However, you know, putting Leia at the scene was kind of off-putting because she wasn't at the scene.
Well, yeah, they could have they didn't have to do that. They could have just said, hey, I'm going to give it to a friend of mine when Bale says it or whatever. That's all you needed to hear. You don't need to see who it is. You could have said, I'm going to give it to Leia, and then just go. You don't need to show Leia. Like, that was so stupid. Like, they just really wanted to show off that new technology. That was new to them at the time.
So growing up with that universe, like when I see The Mandalorian, I feel more connected to that than I do this new stuff. So for me, it was an okay story, but I only needed two things in there. I liked Tarkin because, I mean, a lot of people complain, but I loved it. I thought it was really cool. And then the Vader scene, amazing.
Yeah, Vader scene was awesome.
I like how the two heroes didn't kiss in the end, and that scene was just beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
I'll agree. I'll agree. There's good stuff in Rogue One, but it also, the whole plot of the movie did not need to happen. It just seemed like we already kind of got that gist. I assumed Rogue One was going to be rebels doing the Empire. I thought that they were going to be like rebel spies on the Death Star or something, and we'd be seeing their interactions from that point. Sure. Maybe they catch rebels and they have to kill their friends, literally to keep their identity secret. And then at the end, they got to try to escape, and they have to face down against Vader, and they're screwed, and they barely get away, or one person gets away or something. I thought that's what they're going to do, but it's like this. I mean. It just seems so. I guess, but it just seemed very convoluted the way they kept on doing it, and the way that they're like, "Oh, this is our plan." Like they purposefully made it a weakness. I'm like, no, it's an exhaust port. It's just for letting things out. There's no. They didn't think.
That's a difficult argument for me because, like, for years people had a problem that there was no reason, and now there is a reason, and people have a problem with it. But I think it's just that doesn't bother me. I'm glad that they came up with something. It's imperfect. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but you know, considering I wasn't a huge fan of The Force Awakens when it first came out. I was iffy about that, and then it came out. Rogue One came out. I was like, well, this is more like it. I'm not saying it's my favorite Star Wars movie, you know, but it's.
No, and that's fine. No, I agree. It was their best attempt at a story, but but the guy next to me in the theater was also snoring. He was literally asleep. And I was like, I feel you, bud, because I was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't care about the characters either, really. And again, like, I guess it was because I was just noticing like technical errors that were just like so obvious that they could have fixed easily. Like the guy when they're going to search him, he says, "My gloves," and then pulls out his gun. He's not wearing gloves. Like it's like. When you say something, I don't know. Then another scene where she wakes up and she like feels slime on her head, and then she just looks across from her and sees a slimy looking dude. I'm like, yeah, but that's wrong. That was just the ceiling. Like I don't know. Things like just constant. It's like death by a million cuts, because I was just like, that's kind of dumb. That doesn't make any. Why is that happening?
Yeah,
well, they don't like Cassian Andor show at all.
The technical thing, just do that guy's mind because derp. Like you needed a technical thing to
get it. You really hated it.
Like it just didn't need to happen. Even the final fight scene. Yes, it was a great spectacle, but like it was awesome. No, it also broke its own continuity in its own movie. Earlier, they showed that same K2SO bot, that like of a different kind, get shot once, he was down, and then this one takes like 10 to go down. I'm like, what? You just showed one kills it earlier. Like. I don't know. It's just a small nitpicks on Rogue One, but
okay, let's get back to Rise of Skywalker, everybody. All right, so let's talk about basically this is not Rise of Skywalker, but this is basically Rise of Palpatine. So let's get into that.
Okay, you start us off.
Okay, so we get all of a sudden Palpatine surviving the Death Star implosion. It's not explosion, it's an implosion because they shoot it from the inside, which he falls down the shaft to the reactor. How in the hell does that happen?
Why would they have a shaft to the reactor in the throne room?
Okay.
of the Emperor, right?
Why would they have that?
What?
Why would they have that in the throne room? That sounds. I didn't even think about that aspect of it, but you're damn right. They got that hackiness sitting right there in dude's throne room.
The Emperor's like in my new Death Star design. I need to have all the stuff over here and over there. Make sure you have the direct link to the core right here. Thank you.
And no handrails anywhere.
No handrails.
Well, no, I think they did have handrails. I think they did.
I will defend a little bit on that. Is that when you look at the scene, his throne room is kind of like has a pillar up into its own little room off the Death Star. If you look at it, also too, they weren't finished building it.
Okay,
yeah, but I mean,
okay,
it's still in the throne room
can,
though, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that's kind of but that's the OT, and that's how it was designed there. So it's now being used as a way to bring Palpatine back. Now, how in the hell did he survive? Did he land on the Falcon or something going out?
Ninja Turtles, bro.
I have to make fun of this shit, okay?
We were talking about
Cowabunga, dude. Cowabunga.
Yeah, me and Ethan, we were discussing that because we watched the end of Return of the Jedi the other night, and we watched very closely as he went down the shaft. He's dead. That's all there is to it. Like,
I mean, unless there's instant teleport, I don't think that he did that, right?
Yeah,
bringing him back's a cheap shot.
And I will.
He shouldn't. I mean, I like it. I like Palpatine. I think he's awesome. But yes, technically, he should not be back right now. I mean, I'm gonna go with it because I do love Palpatine. But doesn't that kind of kill all the sacrifices that everybody made in the originals?
Yes, it does.
Him still being alive, it was for nothing then, I guess. Everything.
I would rather had Plagueis, his master, not have died and come back. I mean, for me, that's what I'd like.
Yeah.
Him coming back, all scorched face, and going to,
Yeah, well, and it's also with me. It's I like some finality sometimes, and it seems like Star Wars is never going to end. But it's like you can at least have some characters end, like officially. Like that would be nice. It's like how they keep on making Marvel movies. It's like, can you at least have some type of finality here? Because if you just keep on bringing people back to life, like it just gets really annoying. And the more stuff you do with people, the more you have a chance to screw them up. So like with Palpatine, he had the perfect 6-movie arc. Be done with him. He did his thing. He was cool. We liked him. And he's dead. It helped with everyone else's stories. Great. Oh, let's bring him back now. Now they're gonna screw. Now they're gonna screw with him, right? And it's gonna be stupid. And now he's gonna be associated with something stupid as to where he was cool the entire time in 6 movies. Now he's got one. He was 6 and 6. Now he's 6 and 7. Like it's.
And I will defend the Legends portion in an extent because it links back to Plagueis with the Dark Empire. He came back through his Force essence and occupied a clone. So he didn't come back in full form. I know that still kind of like was up in the air during that time with Legends, and people will use that to why Legends is so terrible. But when you read the stories or you hear the drama version of it, which is amusing to listen to, it's fun. We have the twins coming together, the Skywalker twins, the Chosen One's children, to join forces, and even Han was part of it, contributed with that to destroy Palpatine in Legends. And now we have him where he's survived, his whole body survived. Yeah. And that's where it does not make sense.
I don't understand where they're coming from with any of this. Like, okay, look at Mandalorian. It's just such a good show. It's imperfect. There's not perfect stuff, but it's an adventure. It's fun. It's got that Star Wars feel, something I can't describe. You know it when you feel it.
Yeah.
But what were they thinking was, I feel like like Lucas handed it off to KK, and she was like, "Oh, I got this, Bob." And then Bob's thinking, "Ooh, I want to play in that sandbox too, so I'm going to control it." And, "Oh, I like that. I don't like that." So between KK and Bob, these directors are like yanking their hair out, like, "What the F can I do here?" And
then she's firing half of them. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at the writing, they destroyed their baddie. They destroyed their bad guy before that he can even fruition into his brilliance and why this trilogy is happening.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
And
and even who he is. Even who he is. Where does he come from? There is
Palpatine
no...
used him, basically. They won't describe where he's from, but Palpatine basically used him as a ploy because of whatever.
Remote control.
That's actually, that just sounds so much even more stupid. It's like, you know, why would he just go, yeah, I'm Snoke now? And why do you pick the name Snoke? Or something?
Right?
I don't know. When I first heard Leia say, "Oh, it's Snoke," I was like, "What was that?"
Snoke.
Oh, that's who?
You had to read the novels before you went to The Force Awakens. Didn't you get the memo?
I don't know. It was just like, that's horrible. That just sounds so dumb. Like, that's so intimidating, right? And the Snoke toys. Who the hell would play with that? Who would play with this alien thing in a robe? Like, no one. I saw the toy and I'm like, I'm not giving that to my nephew. Are you kidding me? Like, he doesn't want to play with that.
Really, really sad is how little young children give a crap about this.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is really, really sad. I have a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, a boy and a girl, and neither one of them could give a crap less. They I mean, and my daughter has watched.
Yeah.
So, and she watched the old ones. She's watched the newer ones, and now she's watched these, and she's just like,
Ew.
Right, Mandy.
Why do you hate me, mommy? Why?
This is.
I mean, that is okay. A female, almost 10-year-old little girl seems like it would be a key audience, a key, demographic that they would want to embrace Star Wars. But they haven't done a thing to make the younger kids even give a crap. So it's really sad.
I know. When it's like when I was younger and saw the prequels, like I was maybe like 5 or 6 when the Phantom Menace came out, and 7 or 8 when the Clone Wars came out. And it's like most of those characters, like the Kit Fisto, Master Plo Koon, Keanu Moody, I didn't know who the hell they were, but they looked awesome. And I saw them in the toy aisle. I'm like, dude, I gotta get that. That's a Jedi. Yeah. That's a cool toy. The tanks. I'm like, I don't really care about the tanks, but they look cool. The droidicas, those were cool too. Like, these were some cool designed characters here, and it's like I can use them. And then you look at the sequel ones, and I'm like, I can see how Kylo can be okay. Rey could be, but she doesn't. Like, if we're talking about feats in the movie, I don't see how that translate to playing at all. Like, I was never the kind of kid that reenacted anything, but still, they have to kind of do something to make me go, okay, they're this kind of character, so I can play with them my own way. But it's like nothing with her. Which,
Mandy, you're right. Kids, I've got 3 kids, and they've all grown up. So far as having this as their Star Wars generation.
Mm-hmm.
It saddens me, really.
It really does. It absolutely does. I mean, don't get me wrong. I honestly, Star Wars for me, of course, I was born in the 80s. I grew up when it was huge. But I was a very girly girl when I was little. If it wasn't, Rainbow Bright or My Little Pony, I really wasn't that into it. Of course, I've seen Star Wars, but I didn't really get into it until I was about 17. Was about the age that I met my husband. He's like, wait a minute, you haven't seen them all the way through? What the hell is wrong with you? You're watching these now.
Strap you down.
Yes. And then I fell in love with them once I, got older. But it really does sadden me to see my kids. And I tried, like, my little girl, I took her to watch one. And after the movie, I said, well, what'd you think? And she said, it was boring. That sucked. And that saddens me. That makes me really, really sad that, they're not connecting with adults. They're not connecting with children. They're not connecting with teenagers. I don't know who they're connecting with, but I haven't found the demographic they're actually pulling on. They're
trying to connect with Rian Johnson fans.
That must be it. My little girl doesn't care nothing about him. So
and you can say it's for kids. You can say it's for. They can say, "Oh, it's a kids movie," but the kids that grew up with Star Wars are now the adults in their 40s and 50s.
Well, and plus, I think that's always a misconception of what he actually says. I think he said that he wants it to, connect with your childhood, as an adult, as a kid, as a teenager, as whatever point you are in your life. make you feel that connection to being a kid. So it wasn't directly for kids, but there's lots of things you can do that appeals to an adult.
Right. That itself,
so.
though, is a huge contradiction. If you wanted to appeal to those who were fans of it and appeal to their childhood, don't shit on the OG characters.
Yeah.
Don't take a big right. Don't go and shit right on the originals.
They don't need to kill off the characters. They didn't need to even include these characters. They could have had them be alive and not touch them, or they could have been dead and not touch them. But you don't have to. You didn't have to do what they did. They're like, oh, we just need to. I figure they're like, hey, we have Han, Luke, and Leia. How can we kill them off? Was how they started. It's like, no, that's not how you should start.
Exactly.
I mean, they could have seriously had the first movie be mostly about the main characters, and then someone get introduced in that same movie to the newer ones. As like you have the A cast and the B cast. The A cast being our OG cast, and the B cast being the new ones. And then in the second one, split it in half with their conflicts of who's doing some important things here and there. And by the beginning of the third one, it's mostly now the new characters, but you've finished off any last remnants of their story. Again, they don't have to freaking die to have it work. They can just take a back seat because they're old. They don't need to be in the action of what's going on. Even Luke, they could be like, I'm getting too old for this. I need to chill. I keep on.
But they didn't have to change his entire demeanor to where he was the most optimistic person. Everybody can be saved. Everybody is redeemable. Well, not my nephew here. I tried to kill him, and I'm just gonna live as a hermit, drinking my weird shit.
Yeah, and I'll expand on that because this is a great conversation, and I did a video about this. And so how they could have done this if they would have just went ahead and kept Legends, and then also made spin-off movies off of Legends, like the Thrawn trilogy, with the characters' age and wanting to hand the torch down to the next generation. They could have expanded right after Crucible. They could have done the midichlorians still, because Luke, Leia, and Han were still looking for Mortis and looking for the dagger to kill Abeloth. Jaina, Jag, and Ben Skywalker basically were the next three, because you notice it, every trilogy had three.
Yeah.
So they were the next three. So we have Jaina and Jag basically mirroring Han Solo, mirroring her parents, then Ben Skywalker mirroring his dad, and then it would go into Legacy era. We would have that huge expansion. That would have been perfect. We would have seen the big three handing down the torch.
Yes,
would have made sense.
It would have made sense.
Chronological sense.
I agree. And according like with Luke, I think they could have had him start at that point where he was in a way, but like had it be like, instead of just one time he almost thought about killing somebody that might betray him, like if because I think in the Legends too, doesn't many of his apprentices or students end up kind of going to the dark side?
Yeah, so he has a few that teeter are due, and so basically with his arc, he's the redeemer again, like you said. He's the redeemer. He's the positive, and even he delves in the dark to understand it. That's why he, in Dark Empire, he goes and becomes Sidious's apprentice.
Yeah, he was different. He wasn't afraid to dabble with that temptation. He's getting closer to the sun, but trying to see how close he can get without
exactly. And it takes him a little bit, but he understands it. And like even Shadows of Mindor, like when he gets to meet someone that knew his dad, fought alongside his father, Anakin Skywalker, he does tell him that he is different than other Jedi. And Luke is like, why? He goes, I know nothing. And this is kind of like in the beginning after the trilogy.
Yeah.
And then he goes, because unlike the Jedi of the old, Luke Skywalker, you are not afraid of the dark.
Yeah. And that's a good point with it. And I mean, that's they could have had him at some point, I guess. I mean, when you put it like that, it's hard to say him to be that disheveled. But if he had, let's say, 4 apprentices, or like 4 out of 10 apprentices end up turning dark and killing a bunch of people and going bad, he'd go, okay, I'm obviously not having a good success rate here, or my students keep on going bad. And then his own family members sometimes are going bad. Like maybe he goes, okay, maybe I need to kind of gather myself and go away for a while, a couple of years even, figure out what the hell I'm doing, because something's going wrong where they're all, going psychopaths. It's okay if they use some dark, but they keep on killing everyone. So, I could see why he would be, a little disheveled, like, questioning himself, what can I do? But that'd still be in a way that'd still be him being optimistic, because he's like, okay, how can I do it? Rather than just going there, let me die. Like,
Thrawn is a great example of him being like having doubt in himself, because he's like, I don't know if I'm able to train Leia and her kids, because I don't know that much yet. I'm afraid. It's like you see the progression all throughout the lore post Return of the Jedi with him, and even when he has to go into exile because of Dala in Fate of the Jedi, he still has his doubts, because he's like, where did I fail? How come I didn't see this? I want to know. I want to understand. So he explores Jason's trail and all the forced cultures he visited to figure out what he can do so he can create a better order.
It's enforced cultures. Thank you. That's another thing that I think that they don't even lean to at all in the story, because it's like they just go, oh, there was the Jedi and there was the Sith, and it's like, yeah, but I think even the Jedi kind of acknowledge that there's other aspects to the Force in their own universe. Like, it's not just them. That's just their specific beliefs and way that they do it to pass it on. I don't know.
There's the chosen one in Legends, Alorha?
What happened?
Is Anakin still the chosen one in the Legends?
Oh yeah, he's always been the chosen one. They even talk about that in Fate of the Jedi, and even explore why, like, if Anakin went and took the father's place that the Clone Wars introduced, would that have altered the universe? But then they also realize, or the galaxy and their story, but then they also realize that the Force is in motion, and that you're on a course, and no matter how far you stray from it, it's always going to correct itself.
That's interesting. Yeah, that just really bugs me that they're switching up the chosen one aspect, and I didn't know about that about Legends, but I didn't know about the Clone Wars with the father and the son and the daughter.
And even like so this is more spoilers, and I'm gonna go ahead. If you haven't read Legacy of the Force, I suggest you do it. I'm gonna do a whole series to counter what's going on right now and get people interested more into that and the legacy of Luke and even Jason Solo. But Jason does what you call a thing called flow walk, and I think it's from the Angting monks. Well, anyways, it's from one of the Force cultures he learned on his hiatus for 5 years. And basically, you flow walk either the past or the future. You see, you witness, but you're not necessarily seen, and it doesn't alter anything, really. And so he goes and looks to the past to see what Anakin went through in Revenge of the Sith. So he actually sees his grandfather killing the Jedi.
The younglings.
And stuff, and he's like, I'm not going to be like my grandfather. He's like, I'm not going to be that way. I am not going to be that vile. I am not going to do this and that. And so so in a sense, in a Force sensitive way, glimpsing into the future, flow walking is in the lore, and it could be considered part of a time travel, but basically there's no interaction with what's going on,
seeing into the past, kind of.
Yeah,
I like that. I like the way that you're pointing out different things in the Legends and other stories, because it's like they act like, oh, we just can't. It's hard to write these, and it's like you don't even have to have them as reference to make good stories. You could still do cool things. I think great ideas come from them, definitely. And it's like, I was going to make my own thing. Like you guys know, I like to do projects, and it's like I was going to challenge myself by writing a whole story. But the crutch would be it would have to be the same. It's similar with the sequel trilogy as far as it's 30 years from the Return of the Jedi. It would have to use characters such as Rey, Finn, Poe, Hux, and whatnot, but they're not the same characters. They're like played by the same people, same names, but I can kind of alter them a little bit. Finn still has to be a stormtrooper in some way. Phasma's still there. Poe, they're still their factions, kind of. But the different landscape. The First Order would be like a different governing force alongside the Republic, but they're not at war yet, kind of. The reason as to why they would, if they need at all to use any stormtrooper stuff, which is not their main army garb, but it's just because that's left over from what was there, so they salvage it. They don't restrict it to just humans, because that's stupid. There's different factions that have different armor anyway. there's different conflicts. Bounty hunters, the Hutts and gangsters could have different things because different control for the universe. With the main empire gone and the rebels and republic still establishing, there's so much you could do with that story. Like within the Mandalorian, kind of. I assume I haven't watched it, so I assume that they're doing something with, what happens after the empire's gone. And how people react and respond, and it's like I thought it'd be kind of cool if not just the Hutts but gangsters in general like found old Confederate droids and activated them so they can send them with their bounty hunters on missions. Like if there's a whole army they need to get through, the droids can be a good distraction while they find the good target or something. Like something kind of, it'd be different. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know, but like. That's just that was just an idea like that I had, and it's like that's just one out of many that I could have that they don't need to do, but compared to what they did.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, Rookie, do you think? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead because I was going to suggest moving on to something else that's happening. So say what you need to say.
Oh, sure. I was going to say now that this is, it's inevitable that at the very least, we're going to have a 50-50 split on the movie. Give or take, but what do you guys think now that this is over, the Skywalker saga is over? Does it get better? The Mandalorian's sort of a feel for that, but we got to be talking about Jon Favreau there because he's amazing with this show. They're talking about Keanu Reeves they're in talks with him. They're talking about a Star Wars X. If you watch Emergency Awesome, what he did with his review, his spoiler-free review this morning, I watched it, and he said they're working for a 2022 release of Star Wars 10, currently named Star Wars X. Mm-hmm. So, does it get better?
Mandy, you go first.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say about this one. Go ahead.
Depends on if they actually get writers and directors and producers and people that actually give a crap about Star Wars, about what George Lucas created. So it's all going to depend. If they want to turn it into a, like Spice Girls and woman power over here, then no, it's going to be absolutely horrible like these were. It all depends. It depends on if they get somebody in there who truly loves Star Wars. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and mine's kind of a short answer too. Like I'm already kind of done. I don't really expect them to be able to put anything out that's worth it by now. Maybe in some point in the future it's possible, but I think Sith Kryptonian said they would probably just put it in the vault if they weren't going to make any success out of it, and just keep it from anyone else from being able to do anything with it until later they feel like people have forgotten about it enough to yank it out later and try it again or reboot something. I don't know.
They could entice me. I'm kind of with you there, Rookie. I'm kind of like, I really don't. I don't know that I'm going to care that much to even go into it. But with the right stuff, they could entice me to be like, oh shit, I've got to see this.
Yeah, I agree.
So it could go either way. It just depends on who and what they try to do with it.
No, I agree. It's just all depends. Keanu Reeves, I like him, but I don't think he should be in a Star Wars movie because he's just so well known. I kind of like them having Bill Burr because he's known, but he's not really movie known. So he's not as recognizable as that's Bill Burr, that guy. It's like only people that watch stand-up comedy pretty much know about him. So I don't know. I'm not that. I have doubts. So
do you want me to give my take on this?
Yes. Go ahead. Okay. I know it's gonna be loaded. So go ahead. Floor's yours.
Yes, because I did a video on this, the term Skywalker saga. So this is where we get into parallel or even triple universes here. Is the fact that when you look at the original franchise, when George Lucas and his team had the realms and it was truly his, we did not have a parallel universe. Everything was put together based upon the movies. So there was no Skywalker saga. It was about the Skywalkers and Star Wars as a whole. No matter if you go all the way to 3000 BBY, you have your prophecies about the Skywalkers. However, the movies were the foundation on setting up the lore, the Sith, all that. Now, then we go post Return of the Jedi. We don't have an ending to the Skywalker saga because there is Cade Skywalker, and that story could have been still expanded on. And so saying this is the Skywalker saga really makes it sound like that's very separate than the overall lore and culture and Star Wars. And I get what they're doing because they're now shoving everything aside so they can have full creativity. They did it with Legends. Now they're going to do it with what they coined Skywalker Saga, which means that's why we have Leia dead. That's why we have Luke dead. That's why we have now Kylo, Ben Solo dead, because they're like washing their hands from this now. Now, if they're ever going to use Rey again, we don't know because, there is like basically Daisy said she's not coming back to the franchise. So, but you never know. Harrison Ford didn't say he was either. You never know.
I agree. It's kind of like the licensing issues too, because Han, Luke, Leia were created by not them. I think they're owed fees, right, when their character is used, royalties. Yeah. So
okay, so I'm going to expound on that as well. I will not use that as a defense or not a defense, but as a factor in this because George gave them the licensing too.
Oh, so they don't have to owe any extra for using those characters.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's no excuse.
The contract to this, I will say, you know what? George gave them the licensing. He even told them, I give you all these novels, and you have the Skywalker kids.
Then what's the holdup? Why not use the characters instead of washing their hands?
See, that would have been smart of Lucas if he only gave them the rights to like movies or something, or to the main one. If he kept the expanded universe, then he'd be able to do what he wanted with those. That'd be something.
Yeah, I don't know with all. I mean, I know Kathleen did this whole spiel of we didn't have source material. How do we come up with these stories? I mean, okay, I get you tried to throw something at the wall and see if it would stick. But really, why didn't they pull from all of this source material? Comics, books. Hell, there's games. The games have a better storyline than the new movies. I like the storyline to Knights of the Old Republic more than I like any of the new movies. And that is freaking sad. That is absolutely sad. But yeah, they had source material. They could have done anything. And this is what they chose. And the only thing I can think is they really did go in there with a very woken agenda. Like, okay, there weren't enough people of color in it. So we're gonna make it. And okay, there's not enough females, so we're gonna make them. They just took it and just, I don't know. They tried to do some good and just took it too damn far, way too far. And I think that's where they're at. They took what should have been a good thing and went too far with it, and now it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
they were given a golden. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, and even if they're like, okay, we're not going to use the EU anymore, and we want to have full creativity, they still have the foundation movies to work off of, which they basically destroyed that foundation when they started retconning. They destroyed that foundation with Luke Skywalker and how they perceived him or portrayed him in the movies, and now with the Chosen One, they destroyed the foundation because they want their own protagonist to be the Chosen One.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to make it. She's going to be the fairy princess of the future, and Disney. I imagine. I assume they're going to have a magical mouse creature as well.
Oh, we can hope. They've already got the spacey horses. So,
I can't believe that they almost have unicorns in Star Wars.
I can't believe they used anything approaching a horse on a Star Destroyer.
Oh my god!
Yeah, what's gonna happen now is they're going to get a bunch of mice. That there's going to be somebody that's really mean, and they're going to break Ray's, lightsaber, and then all of these friendly mice and wood forest animals are going to all come together to build it back for her, and it's going to be just amazing. And she'll get to go to the ball, and everybody will be telling her nice outfit. I don't know what they're doing with it, but it's god awful.
It could be a Sith who can control the mice with his mind.
There you go.
Dr. Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle, exactly. Y'all nailed it. That's what they're gonna do. That's
Okay.
what I see it going.
So what do you guys think about this now? Okay, so Rey embodying all the Jedi and Palpatine saying, I have all the Sith, or I embody all the Sith. I'm just paraphrasing from that. I did post that on my Twitter about that because I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't really know there's much to say on it. It's just like, I am all of the Sith. I am all the Jedi. It just sounds stupid. It's like,
Yeah, and the Palpatine's granddaughter saying that too, I'm all the Jedi, which is bullshit.
How in the world did he end up with a granddaughter? We never even found out that he had a
so
son.
Palpatine done banged.
I watched the spoiler clip about Kylo telling her that when she leaps and flies to get onto the Falcon in that scene, right before she does that, and before they, start fighting or whatever they're doing in there, he tells her that you are the granddaughter of Palpatine, and she's like, "What? No, I can't be."
He knocked up a chick during Empire's days, huh?
I hate to meet that chick.
The poor girl.
I would too. Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to imagine him. Veda, please leave me alone. Bring the woman.
Maybe
I can produce the baby.
Yeah, maybe it's that woman. If you guys, because I keep up with some of the lore because, like I said, I like to compare and contrast between the two lores now. Basically, they have in the comics that there was basically a mastermind, that Palpatine wasn't really the mastermind behind the Empire. There was a woman. So maybe it was her. I don't know. I think she ends up dying, but I'm not too sure on that. I didn't go that far because I was like, forget this. I'm done.
I thought it might be that woman that he's sitting next to when Anakin comes to the opera. He's like, leave us.
They were item or date or something. I'm not sure, but yeah.
She's a weird one.
What would a Star Wars dating app be called? At the Star Wars, they have the Star Wars brothel, I imagine, or something where Sidious makes weekly trips to, or something.
All right. So, what about Rey deflecting his force lightning against him by holding on to the rebuilt Anakin Skywalker saber and now Leia's, both blue blades? That's what I seen. So you know that she, fixed it, or Kylo fixed it. I think she still had it, right? Like I said, I didn't see The Last Jedi because of the fact that I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, Luke Skywalker has always been my favorite hero. Mind you, oh my God, I'm a woman. I shouldn't be, relating to him because he's a man, kind of deal. Yeah, so see, I just said I'm done. And then so I decided to open my channel to Legends.
It's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
Wait, she has two. I thought she was a Sentinel. I thought her lightsaber was going to be yellow.
At the end, she has a piss yellow lightsaber. And yes, I'm going to call it piss yellow. You missed it in the backstage when I was ranting about that.
The piss saber.
Piss saber.
Yeah, piss yellow that she stirred the pot with and, spoiled Star Wars with.
Yeah.
And but basically it's this she has both Skywalker blades. Anakin's rebuilt because as far as I know it from seeing the pictures and all that, both blades are blue.
Oh. Okay.
She never had a blade before. Like just all of a sudden there's Leia's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden she has one, even though
Leia never had one in any of the movies, of course. You never saw her use one, but of course she had one.
Of course, even though they're looking for Luke because he was the last Jedi left in The Force Awakens.
Last Jedi, right?
Last Jedi.
Trained and once you build that lightsaber, you're a Jedi basically in the lore. If you're trained by a master, your next step is building the lightsaber and then going through your trials.
You're right. It contradicts in the opening crawl of The Force Awakens. They're looking for the Last Jedi. So what's Leia? Is she a Jedi or not? I never even thought about that.
But she was okay. So, from what I understand, she does have. Of course, she's Anakin's kid. Of course, she's got some, but she's not trained. She is what should a completely untrained Jedi should be able to do. Occasionally use your stuff to help you out of just because you're capable, not because you know how, just instinct. You use it. But that is what Rey should have been the entire time. Is of course she has the Force, but she's not trained. And people who are not trained cannot pull out a lightsaber and start, doing all these damn moves and shit. And then it's I can't.
No.
Oh my
So
God!
go look at the movies, everybody. Good luck. I will look forward to your reviews.
Yes.
Yeah. Look how we're talking now, and we haven't seen it yet. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, no, I feel like you've already seen the movie based on all the leaks that have come out, and none of them are true. So it's like, well, we basically almost saw the movie by now. So
When we're done in backstage,
God, I don't know about you guys, but at least when I go watch it, I'm expecting it to be a train wreck. So if I can laugh at 2 or 3 things, I will get my money's worth out of it.
It's the room of Star Wars. It's like The Room, but like they're really trying to make this as good as possible, but it's going to be unintentionally funny. Like,
yes, that's what that is in my mind the best case scenario, because I know they've ruined it. I've seen enough of the leaks. I know enough to know it is not what I would have wanted at all. So if I can go in there and at least laugh about how bad it is, then I got my money's worth, and I could just pretend like it never happened.
I'm hoping that my whole theater is
to us hardcore fans. Did you see that article that Bob Iger and I touched bases on that a little bit too as well. It's basically that they don't want to cater to us hardcore fans. They really want just the common moviegoers, because the common moviegoers don't understand the lore. They just want to go and watch it because it says Star Wars.
It's true.
That's probably true.
Go ahead, Brooke.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, I've watched. I think we've all seen these videos, and what sucks is that we just keep watching them, hoping that something will change, but it doesn't ever.
You're absolutely right. We keep watching it, and then we're like, okay, please tell me some good news. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, shit. All right, here we go again. There's no way they're doing that. And then it comes out that they are doing it, and you're like, really?
Yeah. But now it's at a point. Now it's at the point, though, after TLJ and after we've seen just glimpses of this one, now our expectations are so low. I can't even see the bar anymore. It's just like, I guess this is where we are. It's silly. Okay. Honestly, if they had clowns go, what the hell? And like, they slap Ray in the face or something, I'd be like, that fits, fits in this universe.
They could cut this movie about midway and start showing like the killer clowns from outer space, and it would improve the movie.
And then the Care Bears come in and teach everybody how to care.
Yes, and it would still improve it and have more. It would make more sense than probably anything we're going to actually see.
And then they just watch them. That'd be kind of funny if like halfway through they just end up showing clips from the OT. It's like, what? Okay.
Exactly.
Just imagine there's some theaters that are doing like a basically marathon 1 through 9, and people may have bought tickets for that. And once they get to The Force Awakens, that's kind of,
time to go home.
The theater's going to empty.
Everybody getting out and walking out for that, because who's going to want to sit through that?
That's when everybody goes and gets their popcorn and then tweets and then goes and smokes a cigarette and does this and then they'll go back and maybe they just ruined it, and it's sad, but that's where we're at. And going forward, I just hope that they actually can get somebody in that actually cares about the lore and where George Lucas wanted this to go, and not try to make it into a political statement, because I feel like that's what all this is. A political statement about shit that doesn't really exist out in the normal world. It just doesn't. It's not, at least it's not what I experience. I don't experience toxic males holding me down, or that's not what I experience in my life. So I don't know.
Right. Second Street in the chat brings up a point though. He says he's not sure that any of us would really be happy with what they do if they did adapt something from the EU, because he's not sure that they'd be able to respect it anyway. Even if they took, like, if they were to adapt literally the Thrawn story to the films, I mean, would it even be good with what they do? I mean, I have doubts too. But
yeah. No, I totally agree with that, because look what they did with the original characters. Look what they did with basically Anakin as well now. So there's not going to be no respect. So I get disgusted when they cherry pick, because that shows that they do have source material, even though they don't say they do. And then they flip it on its head, just like they do the main characters. And basically you can die from using too much of the Force now.
That's the
that and everybody's gotten powers. I think I said I was on with Mary, and we were talking about how now there's all of these like stormtroopers that apparently are going to have powers, and I was like,
what?
It's like Sith
the Sith
Oprah.
troopers. Yes, that's why they're red.
And it's like the Sith Oprah showed up, and she's like, "You get a power, and you get a power, and you get a power," and it's like there's nothing special about it anymore. It's just well, everybody's got them. So who gives
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Yeah, everybody
if your laser hits just one piece on my chest piece, it reflects back at you tenfold, or something.
Yes,
my son said that last night. He said, "Did you know that anyone can use the Force now?" And I was like, I thought he was joking.
No, that's why at the end, I don't even remember which one, but the one right after that big casino shit, the little kid sitting there just pulls up I don't remember what it was, a broom or something, but
the broom boy, yes.
Yeah, he used it Force power to get the broom. Now, everybody gets them now. It's nothing even special anymore. Everybody gets powers.
And you can use it without training. That's the thing.
Yeah, no training.
Yeah,
that's powers.
You see, the way I kind of saw it was that the way I thought it was basically anybody could technically learn how to use the Force, but it would have to, especially if they're not Force sensitive, they'd have to really, really commit, which is kind of like what I thought. I could be kind of wrong in it. I thought Obi-Wan was kind of not that Force sensitive, and he had to like really, really, really work it to get to where he was. So it's like technically he'd barely count as a Jedi anyway. He'd be like, you're barely Force sensitive, but he had to work at it. So I kind of thought anybody could, but they have to dedicate. If they're like let's say Han Solo when he was younger, if they caught him, he'd have to really commit to something to be able to do even the minimalist of techniques or something at some point. But nobody would want to do that, which is why it's technically a religion or a cult or something. They would say it's a school, it's an education, it's a the form of learning. You're going to college for 8 years. You're trying to you're trying to learn the profession. So it's it's dedication to it. You don't just get to skim by it and then you're good.
Yeah,
but even Luke, I kind of like what you're saying with him. He did it different than all the others, and they kind of wanted him to do it his own way. They're like, our way was fine, but it obviously led to our destruction. We taught everybody to just shun fear instead of facing it or getting anywhere near it, and then that caused them to get killed. General Grievous, God, he's one of my favorite characters, not because of his 4 arms or nothing, but it's because he's not Force sensitive. He's not a Jedi or Sith.
Like he still trains how to use the sabers and stuff through Dooku.
Well, it's like the fact that he's so dangerous to them as being not a Jedi. And it's like they see it like, Jedis are basically unkillable except for, what people like Grievous and certain bounty hunters and other Sith and stuff. They start to really make Jedi seem like they're not this almighty force, which I kind of liked. They weren't these godly beings. They brought them down. They brought them down to mortal level. They have powers, but they can still be. They have all these weaknesses too. The weaknesses of everybody else. And even ones that gain such power can start to lose it. I thought that the Nzedi would have been a cool kind of villains, at least for one movie for the Jedi, because they're basically like Force vampires that basically feed off the Force and stuff, and they use trickery and stuff to get closer to the Jedi and whatnot. So. That's interesting, I suppose. And I think there was a Jedi that was an Nzedi as well, and that was that was really dangerous.
They
for him.
tried to not, I forget the name, but that Jedi tried not to be in such, do that force sucking, I guess you can say, or whatever, but it still overcame them, became dark, so there's a compelling story behind that. But this is Legends we're talking about. There's always a development and compelling story behind it, even if it might be off-putting to someone. It's still very intriguing because they paid attention to what was going on and the lore.
What's that, Nihilus? Darth Nihilus? Who was like a...
Oh, Darth Nihilus. Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
he basically he learned how to drain the force out of people to stay immortal.
Yeah.
And he basically, destroyed one planet or two or something like that. And so he was hard to defeat. But basically, again, they paid attention. They did it well.
Exactly. And in the chat, I just put 2 links to 2 fan films that came out this month.
Okay.
I really recommend you guys check them out. They're both really good. It's Star Wars Origins. That
Yes.
one is kind of, if you guys saw that, it's like it takes place on Earth now, and it's like it shows. It's like goes with Ancient Aliens kind of, but with Star Wars, as if it existed in our universe. And it's that's all I'll say for it. I recommend you watch it. It's only 20 minutes. And then Remnants of the Order. It's kind of that, they do lots of fan films where it takes place after Order 66, but they do it in this one in kind of a different way, which I kind of appreciated. So that's another good one to check out. I'm going to have a bunch of videos about fan films coming out in January and February. So look forward to those. I already put at least 5 or 6 out. There's going to be tomorrow. There's going to be another fan film from Singapore that's going to release. I talked to this one guy who made a fan film in Singapore, who did a fan film last year or the year before. They're releasing another one tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'll share it out on Twitter when that comes live. But yeah, there's so much passion in these fan films too. And so that's why when people are disappointed with Disney, I'm like, yeah, Disney, okay. But there's more and more technology available to make cool stories ourselves, which is why I'm trying to get into it myself with making my own movies. And the more I do, the better I'll get. So, watching Star Wars.
Your last one was awesome.
Oh, I know. And Mandy, after this, we're going to talk a little bit about your character with it, because you
I've
played
heard about
two of
this
them.
character. It's going to be amazing. You can do
I'm
it.
excited. I'm super excited.
But it's like there's with the imagination and the way that they use different stories and fan films are just really impressive. Some are cliche and stupid, yes, but they try. And there's different. You see these different fan films, and they use different special effects for force powers for the same force powers, and that's just interesting to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So any other topics you want to cover with Rise of Skywalker that you guys have noticed? Because I've been kind of leading the talk here on that. So
I say let's start wrapping up in like 10 minutes or so.
Yes,
so any last topics? Any topics you guys want to cover last little bit?
So did anybody watch episode 7 of The Mandalorian?
not yet. I missed it. I forgot it was coming out tonight or today. So
Okay.
after I'm done here, I'm unwinding, eating dinner, and gonna watch it.
Yeah, I had somebody.
You see it? Mandy, you saw it?
No, I'm gonna wait until tonight. I'm gonna curl up in my couch and get me some cinnamon bears, and I'm gonna put on Disney Plus, y'all.
Yeah,
You're gonna love it.
I watched episode 1 and just kind of didn't really feel like watching the rest of the series. Like it wasn't bad to me, but nothing hooked me to want to see what happens next. And based on reviews I've heard, it just kind of seems like it's just going around. It's just not really, nothing's happening as much. Some things are happening in some episodes, some aren't in other episodes, and I don't know.
It does, brother. In this one, it happens.
Yeah.
Chow basically is the best out of the 3 directors working on this, hands down. I think Filoni's has been a drag so far. John has been pretty good, but I'm sorry. And this is not because I don't like Filoni. I just think that his felt like his drag to me. I really like Chow's when she gets in there and directs it.
She killed it. I mean, out of the freaking park.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm dying to tell you, so I'm just not gonna.
All right. But yeah, let's see. Do you guys want to talk about Star Wars still, or is there any other topics you guys wanted to bring up at all tonight? With it, I don't know. This is okay. Sometimes I put it on the panel to come up with something, but if not, that's all good. Let's bring up something that can kind of combine the two in a way. what were some board games that you guys liked playing growing up? I was thinking holiday stuff, and sometimes family comes over and you play a board game. I was looking for some older board games to see online if they still sell them. Jesus Christ, the ones that I used to play with are like $400 now because they don't make them anymore. I'd like a Pokemon Master Quest board game, and like Pokemon Memory, and like all these other different games, and those are expensive now because they don't make them no more. And I was just like, God, is there any other games? Like there was Seen It. I liked playing Seen It. Trivia, kind of, and whatnot.
Oh yeah, Seen It. Yeah, had that one.
I feel like that'd be a fun one to do, like as for live stream or something. Pop in Seen It of some kind, Harry Potter or Junior or whatever the hell Disney. They even have a Disney one. Like
game shows. I've seen game shows on streams do well. I think Mary did one, and Mandy.
It's like there's some where you play a clip and you have to guess. What how many watches were on the wrist in the scene? And you're like, what? Why would you notice that? But it's like. Some cool questions, or what hat is this character wearing in this movie? Like, okay, so those ones can be kind of fun, I guess.
Yeah, Mary's been wanting me to get on her game show, but I work Friday night, so I can't. She's like, man, I'm like, if I'm free, I will let you know.
Yeah, that was my issue forever too. And when you're on it, bring drinks.
Oh yeah,
bring drinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring drink. No, it's fun. If you ever get a chance to do it, it really is. It's a blast.
Has she let you sing yet, Mandy?
No. And I'm gonna send her a DM talking about that because I think she knows. I think she knows how bad I am. So I'm just gonna aggravate her, be like, why can't I come on? And I'm gonna force her to tell me that I suck. That's what I
make an honest woman out of her.
Yes, you're gonna go on and just say it. Tell me I suck too bad at singing. You can't have me on there. I'm gonna mess with her about that at some point. Let's see. Well, I never played a lot of. I mean, I've played board games, obviously, but I was more into D&D, Mutants and Masterminds, Magic: The Gathering. I don't know if any of y'all played that, the card game.
Mutants and Masterminds. What is that?
It is a lot like D&D, but different from D&D, but it's still an RPG. So
okay,
it's superheroes.
Okay,
it's like D&D, but you're a superhero. Instead, you'll get like superhero powers, like you're invisible, you can fly, you can, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
That was always the stuff I played, was stuff like that. But I'm a nerd, so.
That's all good. What about you, Laura? You play some board games back in the day?
My family, when we do play board games, it's Sorry. So we go to really basic ones, Sorry. Or
Sorry.
Yes. And Uno. And then we have one more of a dice game that's either called Aw Shit or 10,000. So and LCR, Left, Center, Right as well, a gambling game. Yeah.
I like that. Aw Shit.
Stuff. But Matt Wilkins, if you guys want UU as well, or Legends, he's great to watch. But he also gives reviews on board games. Like, he's got a ton of reviews on any kind of board game you can think of, and he's still continuing doing it. So if you guys are interested in finding out about new board games, go to his channel. So I'm just plugging in his channel right now because he's amazing. And so that's what we do for when we have gatherings for Christmas or whatever. Yeah,
that's good. That's cool. Speaking of board games, going Christmas shopping this year for my nieces and nephews. I've mentioned this before. Why is there so many poop products? Like,
I don't know.
Poop one or what?
There's poop Play-Doh. There's pie in the face. There's plumber pants. There's don't step in it. There's doggy doo-doo. There's just so many bizarre.
Reminds me of Garbage Pail Kids. Remember Garbage Pail Kids, you guys?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
of just like raunchy stuff, like, things that your parents tell you not to do or not to mess with, or that could be like sickening to people and stuff. It's just that fascination, I guess. And it's maybe this generation's way of interpreting that fascination, I guess.
I saw, ironically, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I was walking down, the board all game area at my store, and I saw Miss Monopoly. And I don't know why, but that rubbed me so wrong because it said a game where women can finally win. And I'm wondering, who are these women that are being held down? I want to help them.
Is that literally what it said on the box? A
Yes.
game where women can win?
Yeah.
What if they lose? What if they lose?
Yeah,
You
what
get a
about
reward.
you?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it and it just.
You should play that, Mandy. You should play that on one of your game nights or one of your dollar store days.
Mm-hmm.
I should. No, I wonder what happens. Like in the original Monopoly, you sometimes you go to jail. You don't get to pass a go. You don't get to collect your $200. On the woman's, what is it? Do you pass a toxic male?
No, I know what it is. She won head and Armored Skeptic, or I forget the other guy's name. I think it's Armored Skeptic. Yeah, something. They're playing the game, and so it's basically the girls, when they pass go, they get $240, and the men only get $200.
What happened to equality? What happened to equality? Equality is not bashing the man down so he is less than.
What is that?
I don't know. It sounds funny. It sounds funny because it's like they're like, okay, so let's start the game so that the men are crippled in it. But then it's like, what if the men still wins the game? It's like, what does that do to their finally a game of women can win? It lied to me.
I'm going to tell this to the women that may watch this. If you need any movie, a board game to make you feel significant, I think you need to look into the picture and find out exactly where you stand with your own self-confidence. That comes from within, that comes from your family raising you in a respectful manner. It doesn't mean to bash another gender, race, or whatever, just to feel significant. That is the total opposite of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like them to show this game to women in like other countries. Be like, you can play Miss Monopoly, now you can win.
Yeah,
like,
now you can finally win. Looky there, girls. Finally, something y'all can win at.
Yeah, you can be happy. You gonna be happy now? Shut up.
It's freaking insulting, is what it is.
Play your little game while we do the real stuff, okay?
Yeah, and again, I don't know who these women are that have these toxic males just beating them down. I've never met one.
They make it act like
every friend I've had has dated an asshole guy. Every girl has dated an asshole guy. You run into them. They happen. There are assholes out there.
Being an asshole doesn't discriminate.
Race. Yeah, assholes. Right. It doesn't discriminate. Everybody has an asshole in their group,
Everybody has an asshole.
Right. There you go. So, yeah, I don't know where these women are that are sitting there like, I never get nothing I want because the men are treating. Who are these women?
Never met one.
Never met one. I've never met one in my life.
I'm waiting for them to make one that's, save the damsel, but it's just there's no woman in peril.
It's going to be the man. It's going to be the feminist man save the damsel.
The thing will be that he goes and tries to save her, and she's like, I don't need a man's help, and he's like, all right. And he leaves, and then it's okay. Game over, I guess.
What would happen is the guy would show up to save her, and instead of being grateful, I'm like, oh, wow, thank you. A friend. She's going to rear back and kick him in the nuts really hard. I don't need your help. And then she's going to run off all,
she goes, so you can rescue me, but can you get equal pay?
Yes.
It's
insane.
There's stipulations. Let me see your profile here because I have to be superior than you no matter what.
Yeah, what I find funny too is like She On Head is a great channel that covers this kind of stuff sometimes, and she'll be like covering videos where they're like, look at the razors, the differences, and the pink ones are for the blue ones are for the boys, and these ones are more expensive. And it's like, yeah, because the pink one has all these soft things and other technical things that curve, and it's all these different mechanics and whatnot. And it's like, if you don't want to get that one, then get the other one. Yeah, it's like you don't.
It all does the same shit.
It's like it's just slightly different, but they're not telling you that you're a female. You must get the pink. You can get the blue. No one's stopping you. They're not gonna go. Can I see your pants? Are you a dude under there? No.
Can you
Like,
take off your pants so I could see your hair?
at the register, you know, and be ready to unzip as you purchase your items.
Exactly. Exactly. Now I don't know who these people are. They're just. It's like there's not enough shit wrong, so they'll just make something up. They're like, no,
Yeah,
I have to be offended about something today. What is it today? Men. I hate all men today.
Yeah, let's just.
I'm going with it. No man's ever done anything to me, but no, I'm going with it. Men are horrible. Y'all are assholes, and I'm done for the day.
So do they love their dads then, and their husbands or whatever? Do they love their grandfathers? Do they love their uncles? And see, that's where it does not make sense at all. It's like I hate men.
There's a lot of hate for men.
Yeah.
It makes me think about Rambo in a way, because I saw that recently-ish, and it was like he's a veteran who was protecting the country, and he comes home, and the citizens hate him. They hate the soldiers, and it's like, why? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, they treat him like trash, and it's like, seems to be the kind of culture we're in now, where people just hate respectable people. That have done,
well, that did happen after Vietnam, though, and that so they're trying to be historically accurate on that. But the fact is that today there's no reason to.
Yeah, that's the difference. And people can argue and say that, well, we get angry about Star Wars and stuff. No, we're upset, but we're not gonna go after people for it. We don't care. It's,
right. The extent is getting online and bitching about it. That's pretty much where. Yeah, hoping to God they hear us and fix this shit, but they're not gonna. But that's pretty much the end of it. Is hey, you really wish y'all would destroy our movies. Hey, we kind of wish you would destroy our games, our comics, our entertainment. Do we really have to bring in y'all's bullshit into entertain? It's supposed to be escapism. We're supposed to be able to watch this shit and escape reality, not have reality brought into an escapism. It's I don't know.
Right. I don't need a realistic depiction of everything in every movie I watch.
No, it's okay in comics if the girls have big boobs and a tight, big butt and a small waist. It's okay.
Mandy, it's funny because they can give these guys have no shirt. Like Mortal Kombat, they just had that come out, and all the women had to be clothed. Men were completely, little teeny weeny things around their waist, and that was it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of dudes like 300. Like, I mean, how is that not made for women? I mean, it's just literally dudes in loincloths the whole time battling, sweating. But
I thought that was a good movie.
but nobody's complaining about that one.
Nobody complained about Magic Mike. Magic Mike he got XXL now, you guys. He's really getting it out there on the stage.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord, look at so we really went like eclectic and went and hit almost every area of the entertainment and how they're going.
Oh, we could know if on my older streams, on my streams from months ago, we'd go for 4 hours minimum. But that's not what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
If there's any last things you guys want to say about or plug your channels or something, now is a good time for that. Any final words and thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go on and do a nice little plug over here. So, like, what? Hey, y'all, it's Mandy. You guys, please don't forget to go check out my comic book, Wart the Wizard, that is now in demand on Indiegogo for all of the amazing merchandise for Rocket Gal, like, what? Wart the Wizard and Ordonna. Go check out Comics Avalon. And, make sure that y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel for, you can watch me, compete diseases from mesothelioma to all kinds of, lung diseases where, he puts himself a lot. So
yep, and you can watch her Pokemon collection grow. She got her first Pokemon cards.
I did. I got really crappy ones too, and I really wanted a Clefable. So y'all, look, okay, I don't know what they're worth. Anybody in the chat, anybody anywhere, if y'all have a stupid Clefable Pokemon card, I will pay y'all to send it to me. I need one. I'm missing one, and that is my favorite Pokemon because they're so stinking cute. So I need one. Yes. Okay. That was my push for my Pokemon card.
That's all good. You got to
Right
keep your
on.
collection going. It's all good. And Flipster, any last thoughts?
It's been a pleasure having the stream with you, Mandy and Alorha.
Oh, you too.
Yeah, great topics. Really, really great. Also, I want to say this out to the Fandom Collective. If you guys are on Twitter or you're on YouTube, make sure to visit each other, like each other, share, support. Obviously, subscribe, network, and collaborate. And if you have any questions, you can DM me or Rookie. And rise together, guys.
And you can also contact us at the email too, at the Phantom Collective. So, boom. And all right, the OG Star Wars Legends girl who has been killing it lately, and I could just see you at the front of a class with a room full of students. Like, okay, and now we're gonna start with the legend, and just with the pointer. With the pointer.
Gosh, yes.
I could see you as a Star Wars teacher. Like if they had a school, you'd be educating.
I agree with that.
So, go ahead.
Okay. All right, so I am your new hope now when it comes to Disney trilogy and Disney Star Wars. So we're going to go with that. So I am OG Star Wars, your Legends girl, trying to make it in this discanon world. And discanon means Disney canon. And I am here to bring you Legends, the original EU, original lore that includes the 6 movies. Because again, as I stated before, if you're listening, everything ties coherently into each other so well. And please join me tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for a live coffee chat. We will discuss the current lore that I have posted Tuesday, which is the Bounty Hunter Wars, book number 1, Mandalorian Armor. If you love the Mandalorian and you love Boba Fett, you will come and join in this conversation. We will discuss the news. We will discuss more lore, discuss on how much Legends is being more appreciated now today than it ever has in a while. Legends has always kept Star Wars afloat, even before movies, between movies, and even beyond before the purchase of Disney Star Wars in general by Disney. So please subscribe to my channel, OG Star Wars, and like me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and let's engage in such a beautiful, constructive conversation when it comes to Legends.
Boom, class dismissed.
Boom! She just nailed it, didn't she?
Great, seriously, you got this down. You got your pitch down.
She's got a good pitch.
Thank you.
Perfect. I like that. And also, don't forget to subscribe to that I'm going to say that Star Wars girl, to Star Wars for Life. So many Star Wars names around here. To Star Wars for Life, Ruth. Her link's in the description below. She does a review channel for now. She's going to get a cooking one up at some point, and that is going to be popping, I would say. She's
awesome.
Her review channel. She has one video up and like 250 subscribers already. So that's awesome for that.
Right.
And thank you for joining us on this holiday Christmas roast of the Rookie as well special. I did not expect that to go that way, but I'm fine with that. That's cool. And yeah, we whatever topics we randomly went on, that's just how it goes sometimes when you're doing it live. So yeah, thank you guys. We probably won't have a stream next week because it's Christmas and the holidays and stuff. So we'll probably have one the week after, right before New Year's, but I don't know yet. We'll see how people's schedules are. But the first week of January, definitely. And that's all for today. And have a great
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. See you tomorrow morning.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.